Are we live?
Yes.
Hello, welcome everyone to this week's DCL PrimeTime. So we've had a fantastic week. There were some upsets. There were games that went as planned. But what is more important is the results that we had a lot of impact on the seeding into the playoffs. So, without further ado, we can begin. We can quickly glance over the games and then we'll come back to how the matchups are, who are the prime players in their teams, what we can expect over the next weekend, because the pre-quarters is starting next weekend.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay.
So this game was between Rising Stars and SLCC Guardians, although it had no impact on how the playoff standings are. I think Rising Stars was going into the game with two back-to-back victories, and their last week's victory against Hitman put Hitman out of the competition. So they were the favorites going into this game. But however, the way the game panned out, it's a little different, right? Because Rising Stars batted first. Sukoon Patel, their opener, played very well for his 23 runs, and then but he was not ably supported by the rest of the top order batsmen. Ravi Patel hung in there, scored 10 runs, but in the last wickets, in clatter. But however, Bhavin Patel, who played at number 7 in this game, he played a good innings again, scored those 20 runs, and Rising Stars were able to put up a 91 runs on the board at the end of 18 overs. They didn't even play the entire quota. But that's, I would say, always a crime in DCL because 18 overs, you're able to score 91. Had you had wickets in hand, the score would have been about 110, 120. But from the Guardians team, Sandeep John had a good outing there. He took 3 wickets. And also, he was well supported by the rest of the bowlers. I mean, Guardians bowlers were not exceptional on the day, but at least with the contained the opposition within less than 100 runs. And with this new version of the ball, 100 runs or less, you can fancy your chances of, actually winning those games. And when Guardians played, I thought even though they lost the big hitting Imran very cheaply for 1 run, but then their next 3 batsmen took time to settle down, were scoring runs in between them, and were very well helped by the extras. You see, 24 runs, they were considered in extras, which means Guardians only had to score 68. And that is what they exactly did. At the end, again, Sandeep John comes in, scores those 13 runs. But their skipper, I think Sudha, played a good innings here, scored 18 of 21. But then at the end, again, the last 3 batsmen took time. The number of balls that they played, that pretty much, with the help of extras, summed up this game. And Prakash, he had a great day from Rising Stars. He took 4 wickets for 8 runs in 5 overs. No extras conceded. I think that's a great performance. Anything to add, Vichu?
Yeah, Satya, can you click on that Prakash Chowdhury? I want to look at his face. I'm just trying to figure out if this is the same Prakash Chowdhury which I knew long time ago. This guy's having a beard. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if this is the same Prakash Chowdhury who played for PTS some years ago. But anyway, let's just move on. At this point, I don't want to cover too much on the games because we want to look at the playoff contention. So I'll just be brief on this one. I'll just say that good luck to both teams going into the off season. I agree with Vamsi that they went in with Rising Stars went in with a lot of momentum, but somehow consistency once again is probably the problem with many of these bottom ranked teams, in the sense that they can't be consistently good. You flash and you suddenly win 2 games, but you are not able to carry that momentum across. Good comeback win for SLCC Guardians. I see a lot of new faces. I don't know, Vamsi, I think you said that it was a big hitting from Imran, but I saw it was 1 run in 11 balls or something like that. So uh, maybe other games he's probably a big hitter, but in this game he is certainly not a big hitter. But yeah, I mean, I think 24 extras certainly helped Guardians out. But I think Guardians have to look on whether they can take some of these new players, which suddenly played for them the last couple of games. I don't see many of these Lansing players here. Maybe build on this and hopefully they come back stronger. Both of them come back stronger next year.
Yep. Moving on to the next game. This game was played between Sterling Strikers and Canton 11. Because, Canton 11, I think the day did not go well for them because, on the other hand, they were competing with Hawks to get into playoffs, provided Hawks do not win that Thunder's game. And then in this game, Canton 11 had to win. They had to bring their A game, but I thought they brought their D game in this game. Because look at the scorecard. They batted first, but there is no notable contribution. They were folded within 20 overs and every single batsman in single digits. Their highest score was 11, which came in the form of extras, and they folded at 59. And when you're playing likes of Sterling Strikers, who beat Raptors the previous weekend, right? And I thought they should have performed better if they really wanted to deserve that place in the playoffs. But this performance does not prove that, right? But Sterling Strikers, I thought Isis Elvi had a fantastic day. 48 runs in 19 balls with 7 sixes. You're chasing 60, right? But this guy alone scores almost 50 runs in that. So Isis coming into form is a blessing for Sterling Strikers going into the playoffs. Raza Ali, on the other hand, we know he always takes wickets, but in this game, he took 4 wickets for 9 runs. So that's good to see Raza also coming back to form.
Yeah, Vamsi, I would say that this was a major disappointment and a letdown. I mean, remember, I think a couple of weeks ago, we had Javed Ahmed on the show, and Javed said that his players were raring to go on this game, and, he had more players available than he can know what to do with them. I mean, they were all raring to go, but looks like when game day came along, they all did a disappearing act. Sterling Strikers, on the other hand, I think 2 games they did a masterful performance, both against Raptors, where they beat Raptors without the likes of Mansab and Ali Abbas and things like that. And then this game, Isas just turned on the Jets and turned on the Rockets and everything. I mean, it was just crazy. And then Raza once again was in the wickets. Now, Raza is... who picked Raza? Was it you or Parthiv?
Parthiv.
Parthiv. Parthiv must be dancing in joy that Raza picked up, and he's in fine form going into the next game. When we get to the playoffs, when we look at the matchups, Raza and Aizaz and Mansab, well, all of these guys are available because they're out of the leather ball tournament. So they'll have a full-fledged unit. Ali Abbas will be there. They'll have to put on a great game because I think their first round opponent is not an opponent I would like to see. So we'll discuss that later, but let's move on.
Sure. So the next game, I think, would be called as the upset of the week. Hawks needed a win, or very well, at least they needed Canton 11 to lose, But in this game, both the things happened. They won against the defending champions, and also the Canton 11 team lost, which means Hawks actually got a better deal out of it. And in fact, they are not the number 16 team anymore. They are ranked well ahead. We're going to talk about it in a while. But in this game, I think their middle order clicked. That is what Hawks were waiting for a long time. And Vikram gave them a good start. He scored only 12 runs, but what's important is the next 3 batsmen, Rakshit, Nanavamsi, and Naresh, all scored in double digits, and every single player of these played at least 20 plus balls, close to 4 overs each, which means they took about 16, 17 overs of the game. They gave their team close to 70 runs, but then Of course, the others did not perform really well, but with the help of 13 extras, they ended up at 96. And I was umpiring a game in the next ground, and during the break, I had a chat with Vikram and as well as Naresh. I asked, are you concerned about how the Canton game is going? And their response was, we don't really want to look at how that other game is going on, because once one person starts looking, the rest of the team starts looking, right? So, but their intent was to go ahead, give their best, irrespective of how the result goes. And I think that approach showed in this game. And when Thunders were batting, they had a good unit, right? I know Dinesh was not playing, Manoj was not there, then Bangera was not there, but I thought the Indus team had a pretty good roster to compete. Beat with any opponent. And in this game, I think their top order let them down. The scores of 1, 1, 0, and 0 did not really help. Although Gobu played for a while, scored 16 runs. The only other contribution was from Jalaj, who scored 10 runs, right? And all the Hawks evened out the extras, giving 13 runs. Indus only scoring 47 in this game is a cause of concern. Because when you're going into playoffs, you want your team on the winning side. I know Thunders might not read much into it, but at least there will be 2 to 5%. That shows in the body language of the players when you're going from a loss into the playoffs. And very well, Viju, I would say you would also agree to that, because when last year there were a few teams which were ranked at the top, but going into the playoffs, you lose that last game. It always has some cause of concern on the mind.
Yeah, actually, while this game was going on, I got a text asking me, is Indus deliberately losing this game? And now, I don't believe that is the case. I think let's give credit to the Hawks. They played a very good game, and it looks like they are extremely focused. I personally was very impressed when Vikram came on the show, and then Naresh came on the show, and he did a fabulous job of introducing his team, and the preparedness and thoroughness with which he came on the show, I thought is now reflecting in the team's results, because they are coming out and putting on a show. They have mastered the art of batting 25 overs. Though I will say, come playoffs, if they are, I think their first round opponent is GLCC, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they probably want that 96 to be more like somewhere north of 110. It means everybody has to push a little harder. Everybody, especially in that middle order, will have to score more runs. Having said this, Satya, can you click on that name, Rao Ganta? And I'm going to ask Vamsi a question on this. Can you show me what are his scores this season? Is there a quick way to do this? Because I've been noticing time after time after time, he's been going, what is this, 8 innings and 21 runs? Seriously? And that's a top order batsman? That's a disgrace. All right. Maybe nobody else has the guts to call that, but I'm going to call that as a disgrace. That's an absolute. Can you click on that 21 runs, please? His highest score is 7, and you're sending him ahead of Azimuddin Syed and many of these other guys who have a better claim. This is what, 0, 6, 1, 7, 2, 2, 2, 1. Seriously, I can perform better than that. All right, I'll give it in writing. I'll do better than that at my present age with no practice. Seriously, this is not batting, and this is not. This person does not deserve to go in the top order. Let me tell you that. I wouldn't touch him with 11-foot pole to go in the top order. And when I see time after time after time, the same mistake being incorporated, you sometimes wonder, where does merit go? Did it go out of the window? Did we just toss it into the dustbin? That's not batting. I expected better than that from Indus. Maybe he's your buddy or whoever it is. I really could care less. At this point, there are 10 other guys also coming. Give those guys a chance. If you're going to send this guy 1 down, 2 down opening and time after time, and he is failing, and if you are scoring 21 runs in, 9 innings, it's a disgrace. So he's not a batsman. For me, that's not a batsman. That's not called batting. Maybe you have had impressive credentials centuries ago, but that's in DCL 2022 with this ball. Sorry, that doesn't count it. But look no further. I mean, you have, we saw Jalaj play an excellent innings the other day and win the game for his team, And, many of these guys, I mean, I feel bad for Azimuddin Syed going last and remaining not out. Maybe if he had gone 2 down, he would have performed better than that. But yeah, I mean, I think we left with a bad taste in the mouth in the sense that we expected Indus Thunders as being the champions to come out and put in a good performance. Yes, many of their stalwarts were not there. Pandeti was not there. Manoj was not there. Many of the other guys were not there. But still, you would expect that they would do a better performance than that. But having said that, they are the champs, so we have to give them the respect for that particular piece of this thing. So until somebody dethrones them, which so far nobody has done, let's give them the credit and benefit of doubt. But I think they just make things very, very interesting in the pool with regards to the matchups and things so that has just gone for a toss.
I mean, it's not just this year, right, Viju? We have seen that multiple times in the past as well. Indus tinkers a lot with their playing 12 and also their batting orders in the league stages. You hardly see Chetan even batting up the order in league stages, but come playoffs, he opens.
Actually, Chetan performs pretty good. In the last week, we made a blunder. I mean, I'm talking about blistering barnacles. We made a blunder. I said we'll come back and revisit Chetan. I forgot all about it, and nobody else reminded either. And we had still a batsman to pick. We could have picked Chetan easily there, and I think we made a mistake there. Because yes, I agree with you. Come playoffs, Chetan usually bats and he bowls and he performs and things like that. So if I could do a do-over, I think that would have been this thing. Coming back and using that money, and we had plenty of money in the bank at that point of time. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a better version of Indus in the playoffs. But with all the drama going on with Mishka and things like that, hopefully they have things figured out, because the committee, if you ask me, has changed the rule. Now they can sit there and fine tune it and say, oh no, we didn't change the rule, that we just changed the verbiage. Now trust me, Vamsi, you can go and ask a second grade kid and they'll tell you that's not changing of verbiage, that's an entire changing of the rule, because all through the season, as of August 27th, this rule was not there in the rule book, and suddenly you have introduced this new rule in the rule book. But I mean, if Indus is smart, they should adjust accordingly.
What's the rule? I'm not part of the group, so I don't know.
Yeah, neither am I. But I keep getting plenty of screenshots and things like that. So the rule was that if you play with 12 and things like that, and then if the first innings is over, and let's say Indus is playing FCC, if the first innings is over, which I think in the playoffs you guys are playing against each other, right? So if Indus finishes the batting, and as long as that player is there for the first ball of the second innings, then basically they can field with 11 players, you see. But now they have changed it and said that not only you have to stay through the first innings, but the second innings you need to be there till the break. That is 12 overs. So it's an innings plus 12 overs.
Wow.
Now, obviously, many of these guys like to go and play leather ball and here. And of course, you can't grudge them that, in the sense that, here is a once in a lifetime opportunity where you are in playoffs in both places. That means you must have done something pretty good in both places. So,
I'll read both the rules, okay? So
right.
it was in the sub, number 5, substitute player. So the playing 12 must be declared before the toss, and anyone in the 12 can be used as super sub. This super sub must remain in the field from the start to the start of second innings. When the super sub leaves before the innings break, the team must field with 10 players or 9 wickets. So this was the rule before. Okay. So now they changed the rule to wait.
Because as Satya is looking for that role, Viju, I want to mention last year we got the KRCC team rep Satish Gaba back then onto the call because the same thing happened, right? Sahesh Vasan went at the 12-over break, but then he came back in the second innings around 12th over. And then he was allowed to bowl the full quota of 5 overs by the umpire. That was a blunder because the amount of time the player waits out, he has to wait for the same amount of time on the field before he can do something. That was not implemented, saying that it is not written in the rule book, but I thought that was a blunder because be it any form of cricket, that is the rule. If you're not on the field, right, not the dugout, if you're not on the field, right?
Yeah. Did we lose it?
No.
We keep losing you.
Oh, Is it better now?
Yeah, you keep breaking out.
I was not sure, but yeah. But this year, I don't know why this rule is changed midway, because if you're playing with one rule through the game, right, through the series.
Now they updated the rule book saying the playing 12 must be declared before the toss and any one of the 12 can be used as a super substitute. This super sub must remain in the field from start to end of first innings plus 12 overs of second innings.
Vamsi, right now, right now I got a text saying that this is complete BS. What they are doing is complete BS. I mean, it's all across. I mean, these guys, I don't know what they're thinking. They think that others don't talk and things like that, but people clearly talk, and it's a free country and there is free speech.
They don't listen. That's the problem.
No, so what happens is gradually you lose the respect of the captains, you see, because at the end of the day, this is a captain's league. And you say that you didn't change the rule, but clearly you changed the rule. You might have discussed it, but the rule never made it. And whatever rule is there, it should start at the beginning of the season, not midway through the season. Now, somebody might think that we are impacted. Trust me, Vamsi, you'll be surprised when come game day, we are not really impacted by this rule change. This is why I insisted even last week that come what may, we don't care if we lose a game, but we are going to qualify as many players as possible because we want to be prepared for any eventuality come game day. I hope Indus has done the same thing, in which case they'll be able to handle this with no problem. But anytime you change a rule mid-season, that's a cause for real problems. And this is not the first time, Vamsi. You already did one rule change when you gave Michigan Rangers a pass for a COVID, but you did not give somebody else claiming this thing. Even though I didn't believe the second instance, but that's besides the point. The point is you have to be consistent all across the board. But yeah, I mean, do you want somebody to join? I mean, this is going to become. Hopefully, it will not go out of this thing. But maybe we should rush through. I did ask the person to join, since he said he would like to join. And I mean, his basic point is that this is not a captain's league anymore. That I think what he's going with is this is more of a dictatorship. And that's what I've been trying to get our friends in the committee, and many of those guys are good friends of mine. So that's what really hurts here is that, hey, don't push a rule down because it reflects very badly. And right now, you're getting reamed in the realm of public opinion. And you can say, hey, I don't care, but only a fool doesn't care. So anyway, let's move on.
I mean, actually, Viju, I know we might get benefited out of it when I say we, FCC as a team. But however, we on the show are endless. I don't take a particular team stance. So I say that you cannot change a rule midway once it is announced, right? And I think
we have had that in place for several years. That once the season starts, you do not change a rule. If you went and edited a rule book yesterday, well, it doesn't matter when you discuss or whatever it is. The season has already started. As of August 27th is what I have been told, that the rule book did not reflect all these things. Yeah. So now you're going and say that we just change it verbiage. Well, come on, guys. We are not in the second grade here.
Now, when Raptors were playing, they called in between to inquire all these things. Prabhota, Anjuru, everybody were behind. I told call Jagan and confirm it. He also confirmed the same, and they went with the same rule. Now at the end, now everybody got changed. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, let's move on. Vamsi, I think we just have to hurry up through the games. I mean, anyway, many of these games are inconsequential games.
True. The next game, it was between MCC Miles and Pokeris. This we expected a better contest, but I think Pokeris just outplayed MCC Miles in this game. Although MCC Miles scored 96, it was largely thanks to Rahul Channa, who is continuing his good form, which is good for the Miles unit, I would say. He scored 39 out of 45 with 3 maximums, and was supported a bit by Brahma and also Sunil, who scored a quick fire 13 runs at the end. But MCC Miles scoring 96 with Pokeris, the game could have gone either way. But Vignesh, in Avinash's words, right, he saw the Vicky of the past, the way he was middling every single ball and the way he paced that innings, 56 out of 61 with 91 strike rate, or close to 92 strike rate. They supported well by Raghu, and they were comfortably able to chase that 100 runs in 20 odd overs. They got all the 5 points. And the irony is that this game is going to happen again. The matchup is going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Satya, can you send me the link code or whatever it is, or somebody wants to join? It's Vijay Shanmugam. He's asking that he would like to join. But while he joins, if you can just send me, I'll forward it to him. But yeah, I mean, I think Vignesh really came into form. The Pokeris would be delighted with this. Yes, we agreed. We expected more from this game. But remember, I was joking in the, our DCL draft group, that these guys love each other so much that they were just not happy playing in regular season, the last game, that they are also meeting in the first round of the playoffs. Now, I mean, I don't think, I think MCC, I think it's always difficult to beat a good team 2 games in a row, and that too in 2 successive weeks. So I think come playoffs, Miles will change a few things. They will make a few adjustments. They should make a few adjustments. Clearly, 96 is not enough, especially with the kind of batting which they have. So hopefully they'll get a little more batting. And Pokeris, there is really nothing much to change. I mean, if Vicky is batting like that, that's going to be a problem for any team playing.
I think that's the second game they scored less than 100, I think. Yeah. Vamsi, you're on mute. Vamsi.
I thought so, but thanks. Because the next game is between Phantoms and Troy Hawks. I thought Phantoms fared pretty well than what the score shows here, right, through the season. But in this game, I thought Troy Hawks came with all guns blazing. They had a bad game in the season earlier with Pokeris, but in this game, they wanted to show their might. And their pick of the bowlers was Santosh, who bowled 3 overs, 3 runs, and 3 wickets. I thought he was exceptional. In fact, if you look at their bowling stats, Santosh is right up there when it comes to economy and also deceiving the batsman, getting the wickets. It's a good outing for Troy Hawks. And then when it comes to Troy Hawks batting, I thought the openers just did their job, took 7.5 overs, scored 54. I think this was the fastest game last weekend.
Yeah, let's just move on. I mean, this is such a one-sided game, Vamsi, and with guests requesting that that they want to join in, I think we'll have more fruitful discussion on that one.
Sure. The next game is between KRCC and Local Boys. Who would have expected Local Boys to come in within a touching distance of 11 runs in this game? But in fact, at one time, when you look at the scorecard, the fall of wickets, Satya especially, the KRCC unit at the end of 10 overs or 10.5 overs were 7 down for 42 runs. And from there, if they had got to that 110 runs, it was largely thanks to Santosh Kannan. I think he also coaches one of the leather ball teams. He coaches young kids, and it's good to see him actually perform in this game. Scored 50. I think he scored the 50 of the last ball of the innings, but it's a good achievement for Santosh to get there. Jasneet played a very slow innings. He scored 11 out of 41, but I think Viju will add more to it when it comes over to you, Viju. But local boys, right? At one time again, they lost wickets. They were 4 down for 3 runs. But then what came was a counter-attacking innings from both Satya as well as Prashant Ravikumar. Especially Prashant Ravikumar, the way he was just sending the ball out of the park, it was phenomenal to watch. This game occurred in NPP. I was there umpiring, so I got a chance to watch it in between. But when these two guys were going, the score was 61 for 4 at 17 overs. You need 50 odd runs in 8 overs. The game could have gone either way, but losing one of the wickets, 2 more wickets, right, at 61. And then Kalyan getting out later, who was supporting, I believe it was Satya. Yeah. There is no batsman who hung in there along with Satya, but I thought it's a good ending for local boys if they have this kind of confidence, in the last game of the season. If they come back next year, I think there will be much improved unit.
Yeah, Vamsi, I think in this game we gave the game changer of the week. At least I voted for the gentleman from KRCC who had an outstanding innings. Satya, are you able to click on the KRCC scorecard? Yes. I mean, when you look at it, you can see, with the exception of Hemant Bharadwaj, pretty much everybody else there was finding the going. They were climbing Mount Everest like a snail. I mean, I have not seen Jasneet bat this slow ever. This is, I got a call this morning on this one, and I expressed the same thing. I've seen this guy hit multiple sixes against quality bowlers. I don't know what happened here. Well, you could say that he was trying to hold one end up, but nevertheless, when the very next batsman after you is facing the same type of bowlers and scoring 50 and 46, something seems to be off. But I personally thought that the entire KRCC team, with the exception of Hemant Bharadwaj, was like a snail climbing Mount Everest. But Santosh Kumar Kannan was like a cheetah coming down Mount Everest. I mean, clearly the difference was night and day. That 50 is the only reason we gave the game changer of the week, because without that 50, KRCC loses this game. And already we had seen multiple seedings changed drastically because of position change of a point here or a loss here and there. And this would have been another loss, which was supposed to be in the win column, which could have entirely changed the positions. But fortunately, KRCC won the game. At least for the remaining 15 playoff teams, they'll be happy that they won the game, probably, because you know that you probably don't want to see KRCC right in the first round or second round. Unfortunately, our fellow host Parthiv is the recipient of not so good luck, in the sense that he gets to face KRCC all over again. He has already faced them once, and he's going to face them again. But having said that, Santosh Kumar Kannan deserves all the accolades which comes his way. I in fact asked one of their players, who is this guy? I mean, that was an outstanding performance. So definitely game changer of the week. Local boys, I think, should hold their head high. They had a fantastic outing this season, if you ask me. And, yes, they beat GLCC. They almost beat KRCC. In between, again, that lack of consistency came through, and they lost a few games which we expected them to win. But all in all, I think this is one of the better teams which has come into the league, and hopefully they'll build from here and take it to a next level. And I see that our friend Vijay Shanmugam has joined the show, and I think Satish Gaba also might join the show, is what I'm given to understand. I think he's coming off practice kind of a thing, and once he's done with practice, he's going to try and join the show. Vijay, why don't you hold on? We just want to cover these games as quickly as possible.
Sure.
And then we can jump into the thing. And at that time, hopefully you'll have your video also turned on. So, all right, let's go on to the next game.
Yeah, well, Vijay, Vijay, in the interest of time, right? I'll cover this game and you can cover the Gladiators game.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can cover both. It doesn't matter. You will race through. I don't have anything much to. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
We expected this game the way the result went through, right? We expected this that Raptors is going to win with 5 points. But however, Knights when they batted, I think three of their batsmen played pretty decent. Scoring 17, 15, and those 8 runs. It was helped by 17 extras from Raptors. It's not a good sign for Raptors, but we also have to say they bowled with 10 bowlers in this game. And when it comes to Raptors batting, there's a lot of tinkering with the batting order. Amar goes in at 5 down and all that. We know that it's the last game. He might have wanted his players to have some touch. We do that a lot in these tournaments. But however, in this game, I think Sandeep had a decent outing, 18 runs. He hung in there. He got some game time on Ajit as well. But when they were 5 down, Amar comes in. He plays not so his regular innings, but what he made sure is that they got over the line, got those 5 points. So we can move on to the next game.
Vamsi, can you share the screen, please? I have to.
All right. I think you'll have to make me.
Yeah, I'll make you.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go back and share my screen. No, host disabled participant screen share.
Yeah, now.
All right. Screen 1. Okay. Let me know if you're able to see it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Yep.
so again, Vamsi, I didn't see most of this game because I was actually in the vet hospital because my dog was sick. So I didn't get to see most of this game. I only saw the last 2 overs. And I remember texting Satya and saying that, hey, we need one run to get 105 is the bonus. And you need to get to 105 to somehow get the bonus. I think Dynamites played an outstanding game. So let's give them credit for that. I think Satish Shankara was absolutely fabulous. And the score also reflects that. I think all across, if you look at it, they got key partnerships, whether it was from Prithvi or even in the middle from Arun Selvaraj, and then slightly above that, one of the gentlemen, I forgot his name, but can you just scroll up? There you go. It's Sai Gogineni. So I think 123 was a very high score for Glads to give up. And when you give 22 extras, that certainly doesn't help it. I mean, if you score around 100, usually this is the Glads bowling, which I kind of am used to. But again, I think in defense of Glads, I would say that when you're fielding with 10 players, it's always an uphill task because straight away you're giving 15, 20 runs extra. And that's a huge problem. So we definitely had problems getting 11 players. We also had to qualify players. So, but let's give credit to Dynamites in the sense that, they came with a plan. They ended the season on a high. And that's the best that you can do when you don't make the playoffs, is at least end their season on a high. And now we don't have any DCL team with no losses. Everybody has at least 1 loss. So that should help. And if you're a Glad supporter, you should be really worried because I see lot of similarities. And I'll tell you what the similarities are. Last year, Vamsi, we went through all the games, we won, and then we ran into MCC Miles and we lost the game, but we got the bonus point. And because of that bonus point, we ended up as the number 1 seed. And we ran into Strikers, and we know the result, and the game was at Novi Power Park. Well, this year, again, we raced through the regular season, and then we ran into Dynamites and lost that game. But again, we got that bonus by that last run, which we scored. And then we basically ended up with the number 1 seed. And this time, it's a different version of Strikers. And guess where the game is? It's at Novi Power Park again. So
I'll stop you right there because in this game, as far as I know, you had 3 regulars out of your playing 12, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
We're not talking about this game.
You can bring 15 players. Doesn't matter. Win is a win.
Right, Vijay? What I'm trying to say
win is a win, right?
You deserve all the credit for how you won the game. That is not what we are talking about.
What do you call regular players? Let's come to that, right? So regular players means these are the players who will play regularly and they're not playing this league. What's regular players, Vamsi, from your perspective?
I said with when you have your Glads full unit, you have your starting 12. And out of those starting 12, I see only
that's Glass problem.
Who said it's not a problem, Vijay? We're having to have that conversation where.
But here's my perspective on you and your team. What you're trying to do, right? You think every team has to have regular players, right, Vamsi? So we didn't have regular players. Glass didn't have regular players. So even it out. Okay, I didn't have regular players from Dynamites.
Okay, Vijay,
even it out.
Let me finish for a bit, right? We're not going to talk about this game. What we are talking about is Viju trying to explain the similarities of what happened last year and this year, and going into the playoffs. You got 1 point out of 5 points, and how he sees the similarities between both the years. So he is actually a bit concerned about how the playoff game might go. In that sense, I'm trying to say that, last year, Glads had a not so good outing in pre-quarters. They were knocked out despite being the number 1. But then earlier this year on the show, I did ask Satya a certain bit of questions on, what has gone wrong with last year? What is that you're trying to implement this year?
Yeah.
He answered those, but I think at this point, Glads still have a 90% chance of winning that first game.
No, I still believe Glads has a better team, Satya, like Vamsi. I mean, they are a good team, okay? I'm not saying, but it's a playing field. Anybody can defeat anybody, right? So
Vijay, I'll say something to you. 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, you can still have your head held high and say, we beat Gladiators, fair and square.
Why?
Nobody's going to take that.
Right now, I'm not talking about 10 years down the line. I don't know where you are going to be in 10 years down the line. I'm talking about right now. That's it. Let's talk about right now. Okay. Vamsi, I mean, I'm a big fan of you. I'm not talking any shit about you. But again, give credit to where it deserves.
Yes, of course.
Okay. I think if this is a game, I think Glads were not motivated, Dynamites were motivated. Okay. Doesn't have any repercussions on the playoffs. I know that. But Glads players didn't come out. I mean, Ronak was the only guy who was playing his ass off. Right. And I'm happy that some of my players were motivated to play this game. So, there's always a playing field where, just go and play the game, guys. Nothing else matters, right?
I can tell you something, Vijay. I can tell you something that, this win is going to take your team's confidence to a different level, and come next year, you might see a different version of Dynamites. Right from the beginning of the season.
I always try to tell that.
Because you deserve to win the way you played, the way you contained the opposition. But at the same time, the credit has to go to Satish Shankara, who has played that outstanding innings. Yeah. You built your innings together, and then your bowlers contained the Glads batsmen. All fair and square. You won the game. That's on the records.
Yeah. That's all it is.
All right. So let's.
I told Viju the same thing. We don't have nothing to lose, and it's like Patriots versus any other team. Patriots. Like if you consider Patriots winning like all 10 games and going to the playoffs and not winning the championship. That's how it is. You win the championship. That's what you play for. Okay. Wins. I mean, we are going to come back strong, I'm sure, next year. But I think Glads were very weak this game. I mean, they didn't have a fight. I mean, Viju, Satya, you have to.
All right. So I already told you, Vijay, that I did not watch 90% or 98% of the game because I only saw the last 2 overs. All right. So that's and you
No. But credit to Ronak. He played his ass off. I mean, he was.
Yeah. So can you please let me finish this thing? I mean, in all fairness,
sure.
You have to let the host to finish their line of thought. If you keep jumping in between our conversation, that really doesn't help. Defeats the whole purpose of the thing. My point was I was going to get to Ronak saying that I am happy, just like Pokeris are probably elated that Vignesh came into form. We are very happy that that's the positive we take away from this game is that Ronak Patel came and played an outstanding innings and almost took us to victory. But still, we could only get a bonus point. But at least at this point of time, you can just say that, we tried our best. But to say that Glads players didn't come with a fight, I don't think that is accurate. I don't think we ever take a field saying that let's go and lose, guys. I don't think so. It never happened while I was there, and I'm very sure that Satya didn't wake up and say that, hey guys, let's go and lose this game. No, we went with the intention of winning the game. The only thing was that we wanted to qualify players. If you ask me whether we are going to sacrifice that aspect, I don't care who was playing, whether it is Dynamites or Patriots or local boys, I don't care who the opposition was. We were going to qualify our players because let's fast forward 1 week. You know what, Vijay? I can honestly tell you, we have at least 15, 16 players available to play the pre-quarterfinal game. So it's only a question of picking who we want to play and what the availability is, kind of a thing. But I don't have to worry about, hey, where are we going to find the 11th player and things like that. So that is why I mean, maybe other teams have a different mindset, but our mindset was very clear. We want to qualify players because come playoffs, we don't know who's available and we don't want to be at anyone's mercy. We should be able to field 11 come what may. I mean, at the end of the day, I agree with you one thing. Winning the championship is everything. I really don't care whether I reach the semifinals or the finals or the quarterfinals or the pre-quarterfinals. If I don't win the championship, for me, that's a failed season. That's as simple as that. But that's my thinking, all right? So everybody else has a different line of thinking. But I'm just saying is that tomorrow, if you told us that, hey, Glads, you guys are not going to win a championship ever again, I'll be honest with you. I'll tell this on national television. I'll fold the team. That's the end of Glads. I really don't care because we play to win the championship. Just as you said, Patriots has to win the championship. It doesn't matter how good the regular season was. As far as I was concerned, last year regular season was also a great regular season for both Glads as well as 2 legends. And both of them got knocked out in round 1. So it's a failed season as far as I'm concerned. So, let's call it for what it is. And
Vijay, I'm trying to motivate you here, okay? This is nothing against Gladiators or anybody else. This is trying to, I would wish Glads to win the championship, okay? This is just
no, Vijay. I'm not saying that you're demotivating us or motivating us. I'm just saying our line of thinking, Vijay. I mean, see, again, everybody has to do what they think is best for their team. And for our team, we had to qualify players, but that is because we have a genuine problem. We don't have players like Pokeris where they have 14 or 15 players who are dedicated and available every game, and that's it. No other team, I think, in DCL has that same kind of dedication. If you're talking about dedication, I'll give dedication award to Ravi Narala and Pokeris without in my sleep, because there is no team which has that kind of dedication. Nobody will be able to field the same 13 or 14 players all through the season. And if you have a rule saying that we should have a 14-man roster or 15-man roster, guess what? Pokeris will be playing all by themselves. Nobody else will be playing with them. All of us will be playing in the same DCL. They'll be playing all by themselves. Let me tell you that, because this is a 6-month-long season, all right? So, Vijay, the thing is that what works for one team doesn't necessarily work for another team. Just because Pokeris has that good a dedication unit, credit Ravi Narala and give them credit for that. But It certainly doesn't work for Vijay Shanmugam and Dynamites. It certainly doesn't work for Glads. And it certainly doesn't work for many of the other teams which have 25, 30, 35-man roster, and they need to and still find it difficult to get 11 players, So, I mean, but at the end of the day, we are all playing because we like to play the game. So, let's find reasons to play the game. But coming to this game, I think Dynamites played a very good game is what I am trying to say. From our side, yes, I will agree that Ronak Q Patel played an outstanding game. I was very happy. In fact, I texted him as soon as the game was over saying fabulous innings. But everybody else really did not perform. That includes the skipper because he scored a duck. And he needs to go and examine himself and say that, what in the world am I doing there? If I'm going there in the middle order and scoring a duck, well, that's unacceptable. He needs to score runs. So I'll put it on him right here. Hey, why did you get out for a duck? Why didn't you make your team win? Isn't that what you went out for? You went out to win the game. And anything less than that is unacceptable. You should be playing to win the game. Otherwise, don't play the game. Simple as that. But let's move on because we have so many other games to cover up. Vamsi, the remaining games, I'm just passing. All right.
Well, in the interest of time, right, we'll run through the rest of the games. But Viju, let me tell you this. In the DCL draft, it was a daylight robbery stealing Ronak Q after looking at his performance.
Yes, it was a daylight robbery. I agree with you. In fact, right now, I'm regretting that we did not bid more for Ronak Q Patel.
Well, that's okay. But let's move on to the next game. It's played between Safaris and Legends. The winner takes it all. They'll take the playoff spot in this game. And I got a chance to umpire this game. And Safaris, we've been saying it from the beginning that their team did not click together. They might have had probably 2 or 3 contributions in every game. But as a team, I think it's very, very rare that we saw them perform. All the players living up, right? In this game, again, they didn't have a good start. Srikanth Narne bowls the first ball, takes out Rupendra, who's known for his big hitting. And in fact, when Venkat Kolla was here, he mentioned that Rupendra is their most improved player this year, but he got out for 0. And then I'll only tell you this. The entire Safaris innings was the 7th wicket partnership. They were 6 for 22. And they were 7 for 62. And from 62, they lost their last 4 wickets for 2 runs. So it was only that particular partnership between Uday and Vaibhav that actually gave them at least those 60 runs on the board. But Uday, in all honesty, he played fantastic. He was hitting the ball outside the park for those 2 runs. He was pulling fast bouncers. He was pretty good on the day, but he's not supported by the rest of the players. Rahul not have a great outing. He was out for 8BW. The same thing that we discussed earlier on the show. But then when it comes to Legends innings, Prashant was out plumb. In the second over, they lost that wicket, but then Sai Pratap and Saurabh settled the innings. And Safaris bowled decent at this juncture because, again, Legends were not going all guns blazing. They wanted the win no matter what. And they're playing it very slow. In fact, if you see, except for Saurabh, who played and scored 3 boundaries, right? The rest of the team, there were no boundaries in the rest of the innings. And also I have to say this, that Saurabh was dropped in the second over of the game, the same over when their other opener was out, and it was a sitter. I've not seen a easier dolly than that. And that catch being dropped had a big impact on this game. But then, when you have 65 runs, you have to convert half chances into full chances, not drop the full chances, right? And hard luck to Safaris, but I think Legends will be very happy going into the playoffs, because at one point I've heard that their team management said it in the middle of the team huddle after that Detroit Titans game, saying that we are done for the season, so let's pack our bags. Because from there, coming into the playoffs is a big thing. I think the motivation is right up there.
Who said pack the bags after the Titans loss? Legends?
Legends.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But because they were at such a low point, but that win against MCC Miles and this game against Safaris, there is enough motivation. I saw it when I was umpiring the game. So that's what I noticed. So in the next game, I think they're going to have going to come in with that same attitude.
Okay. Well, I mean, I want to say that, so the thing is that in this game, all I want to say is somebody texted me right after Swarna Rahul Mrithini got LBW saying, Vijubhai, he should have listened to you, that he was having too many LBW decisions. So this is one more LBW decision which has added to the total. So his favorite way of getting out is LBW. And if LBW is consuming you left and right, you got to change your stance. You got to take one stump outside the leg stump guard and get that out of the equation, because your team is getting hurt. But having said that, I think Legends deserve all the credit. It was a very strong
tab. You are sharing the whole game.
And
Yeah.
if I had to
That's
say
on
the
one.
player of the match for me is Saurabh, because
Vamsi, I think you want to change the tab because your viewers are seeing the old tab, the Lads versus Dynamites. You're the one sharing the screen.
Yes, I'm the one sharing the screen. I paused it because I got another text on my laptop. So
Okay.
yes, but however, in the Safaris innings, in this game, I thought Saurabh Mahadik, who played 27, scored 27 runs and held that innings together, he deserved to be that man of the match. Well, moving on to the next game, it was played between SSK and Patriots. Patriots have some renewed energy coming into the second half of the DCL season, because that is where we saw some great contributions from their team. And in this game, SSK, except for Vinod Aganathan and Venkat Jamula, the rest of the batsmen didn't put up a fight. I mean, they're trying to play the balls, but however, when it comes to scoring the runs, they were not there. And they were not even able to protect the wickets. They got bundled out for 84, and largely thanks to Vinod's 26. But then in bowling, it's good to see Venkat picking up wickets, although he was a bit expensive in the context of the game. Picked up 4 wickets, which means he's trying to get those weapons out. And Patriots on the other end, it was Sarvesh Sharma all the way. He went in there, came out undefeated, scored a 50, 2 boundaries, 2 fours and 2 sixes, and he was well supported by Nitin Karna, although there were 3 wickets lost at the early part of the innings, 3 for 21, but that partnership of 49 steadied the innings. And then, they were able to finish it off in 9 points. Patriots took that playoff spot, the 16th spot, and we'll see what Viju has to say, because Glads are going to play Patriots next.
Yeah, I mean, I told you the similarities are tremendous. I mean, yes, last season too, going into the striker game, we felt very confident. And then we know how that turned out. So I already been warning that the similarities are this thing. So let's take care of things. So already we have changed a few things. So obviously, I know one thing, we are not going to be lacking players. So that's not going to affect us. So in fact, I'm pretty confident on that. You never see me confident. Always I've said, we are not having enough players and things like that. But coming into the playoffs, we know that we have 23 players qualified, and we have well over 15 players available. So it's a question of what we are going to field out there.
Well, thanks, Viju, for that insight. And the next game is between MI Rangers and Motor City. Both the teams were out of the playoff context right now, way earlier. But in this game, again, the Rangers, they have their own problems. They lost 6 for 40. But what came after that was just a miracle in the context of the game. Sidhu Ragala and Sandeep Gaud stitching a 58-run partnership. And I believe this is Sandeep's highest score ever in T-ball cricket. He scored 31 runs of 39 with 2 fours, well supported by Sidhu. Sidhu scored 30 in 36 with 2 sixes. And then Jamal Mohsin, at the end, he hit those 2 big hits, giving a score of 122 to MI Rangers. And Motor City, I thought that team will be able to chase any score below 80, 90, but 122 was a little too much for them. And when it comes to Rangers bowling, they tried 8 different bowlers, but Vineet has been their standout this year. Be it batting in the middle order or picking up wickets, Vineet has become their ace player. Vineet played for me last year in Michigan Cup in my team, and compared to what he was last year, this year he's a much improved player, and it's good to see. We would wish both these teams all the best for the next season, and let's move on to the next game. The next game was played between Stars and Strikers. At least I anticipated a much closer contest because, when I was doing predictions for who's going to go into the top 16, the standings, I thought Stars are going to get 4 points and Strikers 1 point. But in this game, I think Stars batsmen just outplayed the entire Strikers unit. The top 4 batsmen scoring 14, 24, 29, and 33. Although the scorecard reads 131 for 10, all out in 24.2. You have to note that they were 118 for 4 in 20 overs. And, if they had finished the game well in the last 5 overs, you can easily score 30 to 40 runs. But somewhere, that's one cause of concern. It happens many times, saying that you look for 40, 50 runs in 5 overs, you give up all your wickets in 10 runs. From 118, they got 13 runs in the last 5 overs. Except that concern, I don't see anything wrong happened with Stars batting. Vinod Singh, again, the pick of the bowlers for Strikers. He picked up 3 wickets in his 5 overs. And then when it comes to Strikers batting, Parthiv tried to, play a steady innings in this game. I think they clicked on his name. But however, Stars were picking wickets in regular intervals, and Parthiv scored 10, Dinesh 12, and then Amit Patel scored about 19 runs. And they folded for 67. I thought they managed about half of what Stars scored. And that is precisely the reason why I think Parthiv is out there today, practicing with his team and not on show.
So can you scroll down, Vamsi? Yeah, I want to look at that the bowling figures there. So if you really look at it, Parthiv has a genuine problem here. And one of the objectives is, yes, Parthiv is out there strategizing today and helping his team practice as they get ready for KRCC. We wish him all the luck. But when Parthiv and company, which is Strikers, played against KRCC and now against Stars, if you're a keen observer, you'll notice one thing. Pace seems to be a huge problem for Strikers because the Stars unit has decent pace there. Ravi Teja and Deepak give you pretty decent pace. And, you can see that they are pretty successful. And same thing happened when Strikers played KRCC. Oni was very successful. So if you have Parthiv, you have to look at the KRCC game and you have to look at this game and say that, okay, the opponent's bowling style is similar. Now, something has to change in my batting. I still think that Ishan Patel should open the batting, but Parthiv needs to talk to that bloke. He needs to tell him. That guy runs crazy. And I have seen him get out numerous times. He played for Glads indoors. I like the energy which he brings. He brings a lot of energy. He has to stay at the wicket and he can't be getting run out. But because I've seen him numerous times not use his brain and run stupid runs and get run out or get his partner run out. He has to stay. He is critical for them. He needs to stay there. And that right-left combination has to get going because that is the only way out. Because I think Amit Patel coming lower down where he's coming right now serves them well. And I think they have to figure out how they're going to use Kishore Mahajan. But the two left-handers, Ishan and Kishore, have to play big games if Strikers have to pull this off. And I think Parthiv himself is technically sound. So the thing is that, they have to figure some things out. It's not going to be easy. But they have to look at last year's game and say, hey, if we can beat Glads, we can easily beat KRCC. I mean, you have to take this thing. And against KRCC, they had the worst outing this season. Now, come to the Stars, they have at least improved from 32 runs to 67 runs. And I still think they can further improve against KRCC because, yes, KRCC is going to come with their top-notch bowling, but still I think they should be able to improve upon the performances. But we'll wish Parthiv and company all the best. But they have their work cut out, but I think they can, pace is something which they'll be able to handle if they make some slight adjustments there.
Well, those are the inputs from Viju to fill in list Parthiv.
Are we done with all the games?
Yes.
All right, go ahead with your, you have some exciting news, right?
For the last 2 or 3 days, we've been working on this And I'm glad to announce that this year we'll be having the fantasy league for the playoff season.
If you can share this page so that they know how to fill it up.
Sure. And what we have done is we've brought in this link where you can select your playing 12. And of course, when we are going to have a fantasy league, we are going to have rules. And for those rules, there is a particular document which is embedded within the form where you can fill, which gives you all the player statistics from this year and what their grading is, what is the cost of the player, what is the overall budget. Before I get there, let me tell you, the last entry for the week is going to be Friday midnight. We're going to have it for all the 4 weeks, and the ones who are going to end up in the top 3 positions at the end of the fantasy league are going to have appreciation trophies, mementos, because this is a no cost entry fantasy league, and we're yet to look for sponsors. And at this point, you will be getting some mementos at the end of the fantasy league. But once this link has been circulated in a few groups, and I believe it was also shared on the DCL captains group. So in case you're interested, you can reach
below
out to
in the
Satya.
comments in this, and also I can put it in the description, the link.
Yeah, thanks, Satya. And in case you still don't have the link, you can reach out to Satya, or you can reach out to me, and we'll share those links. But once you get into this particular form, you have a link to get the player details, rules, and a workbook which will tell you exactly what you can do. So I'm going to bring up that worksheet. I downloaded a copy so that I can share it here. All right. This particular document has 2 tabs. One of them is the statistics and what is the amount for the player, what kind of player he is. Is he a bowler? Is he a batsman? Is he an all-rounder? So all stats from DCL 2022 are right in here. His batting stats, bowling stats, all those, and the corresponding team from which he is picked, right? And now comes to the rules section. So you have 3 categories of players: bowlers, batsmen, and all-rounder, and the minimum and maximum limits are there to pick what kind of a player you are picking. You can pick a maximum of 3 bowlers and 3 batsmen. Minimum of 3 bowlers and a maximum of 5 bowlers. The same rule applies for batsmen as well as all-rounder. There is a rule saying that you cannot have more than 2 players from each team. What I meant to say is you cannot have 5 or 6 selections from, say, Gladiators or Indus Thunders. Okay.
I used to have the same rule when I ran the fantasy, that you can only pick maximum 2 players from one particular team.
Yeah, from each DCL team. Right. Yep. You can pick only 2 players, and each fantasy team should have 12 players. You cannot have 11, you cannot have 13. And the total budget for team selection is 100 million. So that's the virtual money, which you're going to play around. And when it comes to the points calculation for fantasy, the batting and fielding, you're going to get the points exactly as what shows in Cricket Clubs. And for bowling, you're going to get half of what Cricket Clubs has. And the last entry for each week is Friday midnight. So, you might miss out this week, but if you still want to enter at a later point next week, you can, but you will be lagging behind in comparison to the others. And here, this working sheet is very important, because what I've done is there's a drop down. This is your working sheet, right? Because you might be worried, if I pick, say, Arjun, or if I pick, say, Hardik, what will be my rest of the budget? How many batsmen have I picked? How many bowlers have I picked? Am I within the limits or not? So in that case, that's the reason, I given this drop down where you can select a particular player, and it will tell you what kind of a player he is. Is he a batsman, bowler, or all-rounder? What is the amount? The amounts can also be seen in stats, so you can also work based on this particular stats document. You can just select your players, but this is your working document. It will tell you what is your left out budget, etc., etc. And then when it comes to submitting the entries, now you have your working document, you have your 12 entries. Take those entries, and then here there are a few details that we need, because we want to make sure that it's the right participant who is coming in. So your email ID, your name, your team's name, a valid phone number so that we can contact you. This details will not be shared elsewhere. It's going to be with me because I'm hosting this. And then when it comes to players, the same players from your drop downs in that Excel working document, you can select them. For instance, I can select ISSLV, then I can pick one other player. So you can pick all the 12 players, right? And at the very bottom, when you click submit, you're going to get a copy of your responses to the email that you mentioned. It's going to tell you what are your 12 selections. And you will also have an option to edit your teams, as in you can submit your team today, but you can still go ahead and edit your team before Friday midnight. The reason is, few of us would not know who is playing starting 12, and if you have any insider information, you can still go ahead and do it, because if you're putting such an effort, I thought you deserve to make those changes.
Okay.
Well, over to you, Viju or Satya.
Yeah, I'm happy to see this come about. I mean, in the sense that I think looks like, can you share who all were involved in this thing other than you? Is it anybody else from DCL, or we just want to give the credit to those guys, whoever they are?
I mean, when I was doing this, I reached out to certain individuals to take inputs. Chanakya was one of them, Chanakya Lukam. Then I reached out to Satya, because, once we have this, how do we implement it from an administration point of view? And then Nishant is the one who added some color, added these images in the back end. We collaborated on this together.
Okay.
But I did send out the test links to a few of the folks so that, they can test it out and tell me if something's wrong.
And so far, only our friend Avinash Raghu is the only person who got this in Telugu, right?
Right. I think that's something to do with his settings or places he might have visited.
No, I just wanted to throw that out, that Avinash Raghu got it in Telugu. So in case anybody else gets it in Telugu, that means their English is on par with Avinash Raghu, because it is the artificial intelligence which is trying to get a leg up on all these guys. That's it. But anyway, I don't think most people will catch that joke, but within our group, we know what we're talking about. But yeah, let's move on. Did we lose Vijay Shanmugam? I mean, he was here to discuss a different topic, I thought, and looks like he has dropped, right?
Okay.
Well, I had a question for him, but
can you stop sharing? So you can share the playoff stuff. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Satya.
All right. So we are ahead of time now to Satya, or did we catch up?
15. Yeah.
Okay.
5 minutes. So.
Satya, you don't have that PDF. That is a lot easier to look at.
What PDF?
I sent a PDF. Yeah.
Let me pull it up. Give me.
All right.
Speaking. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. So, so KK, what's our plan now? If we are not, did you have some other thing? We had a game changer of the week. I think we can announce that safely while Satya pulls that up.
Sure. For this week, Santosh Kumar Canton is the game changer of the week. And Satya, you got the last name wrong. It's Canton.
Yeah, that's typical Satya. Well, he always loses one character here and there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, go ahead, Satya. You can announce the sponsors as well.
Yeah. I mean, Santosh needs to contact Satya by Friday midnight Eastern time, and C4 Technologies and Chetan Thakkar is the sponsor for the Game Changer of the Week. You, as the Game Changer of the Week, we want to appreciate the fact that you won the game for KRCC. I mean, without that innings, KRCC was done and dusted. But that one innings changed the outcome. I think I want to say Vicky had a wonderful game. So definitely he was our second in line for the game changer of the week. But Santosh, please reach out to Satya if you don't have his the telephone number. Yogesh or Maulik definitely has the number on your team, and they can provide the number. You just have to make a claim, and the $25 gift certificate is yours it's yours for the taking. So congrats once again. We are happy to announce you as the game changer of the week, which won the game for your team. Moving on, we are now going to discuss the playoff matchups.
That's right,
Is that the
Viju. We're
plan?
going to go.
Okay.
Yep.
We still
But-
don't have our.
Viju, can you just share it again? I'm not able to get the old messages.
Vamsi, you have that? I mean,
Yes, I have that. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to share it. Give me
Okay.
one.
All right.
Share it. One second.
All right. Well, who's doing the sharing? KK, you're doing the sharing?
Yep, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just pulling up the document. Viju. Give me just a minute.
Okay. While we are pulling that up, Vamsi, in your estimation, which playoff matchup has the biggest likelihood of an upset?
Well, the game between Sterling Strikers and Legends.
Right. So that's the same game which I think somebody asked in our group which game I thought was this thing. I circled that game too. I don't think Sterling Strikers is the number 3 team overall, but their matchup is against Legends.
This is the final prediction scores. Okay.
Oh, this is the prediction?
Yeah.
I mean, how did Parthiv still race up one up? I thought he got Strikers wrong, right?
I think only one, but he got Guardians right.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you say final prediction, did I win, Satya?
Not yet. You still have the
this
playoffs.
for
to
the
contend,
group
right?
games, right? It continues to playoffs now. So
Okay. All right. We'll see how far this will take me, but at least I'll take that 3-point lead. Any day to start with. Playoffs is another tournament.
Okay.
Well, let me know if you're able to see my screen and then I'll get started.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Good. So at the end of the league stage, this is how the standings were. Legends won with 5 points. They sneaked into 14th position, and then Hawks won the game against Indus. So they where are
Went
they?
to number 15.
Number 15.
Right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. So
yeah, Hawks is right here
yeah.
at the 15th position, and Patriots, even though they had 31 points, because Hawks and Legends got to 31 points with better run rates. So the team ended at number 16.
Yeah.
And Indus, because they lost that game against Hawks, they now ended at the 7th position with 44 points. And I think pretty much that sums it up this week. Miles lost to Pokeris. Pokeris got all the 5 points. They were number 4, Miles were number 13. But now let's get into the interesting matchups. Right, I'll start with the teams in their ranking order. Is Glads number 1 team? They lost only 1 game in 11 encounters. They ended at number 1, and they're going to play against Patriots. Well, Viju, as you are here, we don't have all the team members, all the 16 captains over here. But what I can ask you is, how is the preparation for the pre-quarters game? Or Satya, you can answer this much better probably, because you are in the thick of things. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull up our league and also the particular team statistics.
I think he disappeared.
That's
So,
okay. Vijay, you can answer that.
sorry guys, I'm making the kids sleep. So
No worries.
All right. So let me. The preparation is the same as for every other game, Vamsi, which is no preparation, because Glads is the only team I think in the entire league which doesn't practice, and playoffs is no different. There is no practice. There's no session. Everybody gets plenty of cricket everywhere else. So we're going to just show up. Hopefully, we are going to arrive early and get our eye in. At least that's the intention. And I think the question going into the game was availability, and I don't have any concerns on availability. So at least we feel pretty confident in that sense that we are not going to be short of any players or anything like that. Now, who plays and who doesn't play, that is yet to be decided. But you should expect a pretty decent Bloods team out there. That's my feeling. Yeah, I already expressed my concerns earlier in the similarities. Other than that, I mean, it's cricket. Anything can happen. But that's why we play the game. So Patriots are a good unit. I don't know. Did you ever think that they will be number 16? I never thought they will be number 16. I mean, it was a surprise. Obviously, Hawks is the one which caused that huge upset. I mean, we all expected, I personally expected Legends to go to number 14. Of course, earlier in the season, I thought they'll be better than that. But, and I told Satya, and I mean, I'll admit this all across, live on national television, that, hey, I was hoping that they will not end up at 16. And I told Satya that, come what may, make sure you end up at number 1, because what if Legends ends up at number 15? Let's avoid that, because I personally think that the Legends bowling is top notch. So their batting is a little suspect, but their bowling is top notch. So do we have the batsmen to handle the Legends bowlers? Yes, but if you can avoid it, why not avoid it? I mean, that's just how I see it. I think I think Patriots have some decent players, especially with the addition of Sainath and Venkat Patnala and Srikanth Gauni there. So they have a lot of experience. I think it should be an interesting game. But I still fancy the Glads' chances, is how I see it.
Well, at least I can tell you this, Vijay, Glads are not going to face KRCC or Indus or GLCC until the finals.
Yes.
If the team gets there, right? Because they are on the other side of the equation.
Yes.
Well, coming to this game again, Gladiators here are the top performing players this year. Pulled it based completely on stats, and there you go. Fahim has not played most recently, and Satya, do you know the reason why? Or if Satya is not there, Vijay, do you know the reason why?
Yeah, mainly it's F40. So the thing is that, his first commitment is F40. Well, now his team is out of F40. So he's going to be available the rest of the playoffs.
Sounds good.
And as long as he's available, as far as I know, he's playing. I mean, he's got the batting credentials to back that up.
Well, for the viewers, right, here are the top performers for Gladiators, Fahim, Sean, Ronak Patel, Taifur Rahman, Shivam Kasangara, Jeet, Arjun. I'm going to stop at 7. Satya, don't kill me, read your name, but here are the top performers for Glads this season, at least based on the stats. And for Patriots, it's Gopi Chand Sajjana. He's been their MVP so far this year, followed very closely by Sai Tota. Sai played only 6 games out of 11, but he's right up there. Then you have Mahendra Reddy, Venkat Vadnala, Ramesh Nawat, Sarvesh Sharma, and Balaji. So that's pretty much the core of Patriots, I believe, coming into these playoff games.
Yeah, but see, Nitin Reddy Karna at number 10, he has been batting quite well, is what I thought. I mean, there are a few critical games where he has stood in the middle, and he poses a problem in the sense that you probably want to take him out as quickly as possible, because that right-left combination is in play as long as he's there. So, yeah, I wanted to give him. But I also think that, I don't know, I think he does a very fantastic job for that team in a very quiet fashion. So I actually admire him from a distance, you see.
Agreed, Viju, because if you reorder it based on batting and bowling, because the total points does not really do justice to how the batsmen have played. It gives more weightage to the bowling. And if you look at the batting points, Nitin is right up there. He is their leading.
Yeah, see, I said this without even looking at the stats or looking at this thing, because I see game after game the scorecard that he is in the runs. You see, that's the reason why I said that, and that's the reason why I even said about the earlier situation with the gentleman from Indus. In the sense that he was going up the order and not scoring runs.
Mhm.
Whereas here,
Yeah.
I feel that the batsman has been producing the runs.
True.
And
but,
Sainath, he's still in the runs and still in the thick of things, you see.
Oh, yes. I've seen those innings as well. So, Nitin, Sarvesh, and Sainath, the top 3 batsmen for Patriots. And when it comes to bowling, it's Sai Tota, Gopi Sajjana, and Venkat Vathan.
So any inside information on whether Sai Tota is going to be playing the game?
Sai Tota is going to play. He's not going to miss out a playoff game. He's going to drive 3.5 hours, come and play the game. I know that I played with him. So. Yep. Moving on. This is the first game, and at least are we doing the predictions on the show? Satya?
Yeah, let's do the predictions.
Yep.
Well, we probably don't have.
Yes.
But
we can go on the record. We can.
You have a chart out for this. If you are having it later in the show, then that's fine. We'll move on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's move to the next game, and then we'll get to the predictions at the same time.
No, there is no KK and Viju only didn't fill.
Well, we're going to do it on the show.
We are going to do it on the show. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. The next game is GLCC versus Hawks. So again, GLCC, they lost, I believe, to local boys early on in the tournament, but they've won every other game after that. So 1 loss in 11 games with a net run rate of 2.11, which means if you consider it by runs, they won by more than 50, 52, 53 runs every game. So that's the average it comes out to. So GLCC has done pretty good this year. And they're going to play Hawks. Hawks, the first time they're playing for the first time, and I thought Hawks did more than decent. Vikram Golimari, he was leading the charts for the MVP race for majority of the tournament. I think he's still up there in the race, but and then their skipper led beautifully from the front, Naresh Arkat. We're going to go into the stats as well and see. Because for GLCC, the way I see it, from the batting point of view, Akash Patel is right up there, closely followed by Ajit Jaisinghe. Then Naseem Khan, he only played few games, but his strike rate was phenomenal in all those games. Then Tejas, so we cannot forget that 50 against Stars that gave them that victory. So
yeah, the top 5 there, Vamsi is going to be playing every game there. I'm talking about the batting chart, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at the bowling chart, they have again some led by Samish. They have some very good bowlers there. So
but when it comes to bowling,
Samish,
two folks appeared in both the lists, right? Akash Patel and Hemant in the top 5 list. But Samish Kilam, Ranveer Singh, he played 3 games, but 420 points out of them. Wow. I think he has an 40 game. Not sure if he's going to play, but again, Pradeep is there, ever reliable. He picks up wickets very regularly. So they are your top.
I'm not. Again, I'm not sure if you'll see Pradeep in the playoffs. That's just my gut feeling. So unless they are short on players, because they have plenty of good players, how are they going to fit in? Abhishek is definitely going to fit into that playing 11, right? So the thing is that if you really look at it, I think Ashraf plays, even though he played only 3 games. I think if Ashraf is available, and Ashraf is too good a player to sit out, especially as a keeper, he does a fantastic job. So it's unbelievable, his hand-eye coordination there. So I think GLCC is really primed to go deep. Let's see what happens. But I think if you look at Hawks probably have to look at what they did the last game against Indus, and they'll draw a lot of confidence from that. I think also, Vamsi, I think you have to give credit to the leadership of Hawks and the captain. And I think Vikram is the vice captain, Naresh as captain.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, these 2 guys have done a fabulous job of motivating their players and, looking at the stats and coming up with a game plan and things like that. And, they have got the idea of batting for 25 overs, that it's not a 20-over game, it's a 25-over game, staying there at the wicket, sometimes scoring ugly runs, but runs, it is nevertheless runs, you see, and then getting to the point here. And I think they have definitely turned a few heads with their performance. And now that they are in the playoffs, nobody expected them to rise up to number 15. We were all thinking Hawks at number 16, but they came all the way to 15. And, I think if they can put 110 on the board, it's game on.
Well, let me also tell you this, right? If you look at the teams that are above Hawks in the ranking table in their pool, they've beaten Sterling Strikers, they've beaten Indus Thunders, so they beat 2 out of the top 3 teams in the pool. So that's more than decent the way they have performed. And we were talking about Vikram and Naresh; they are right up there. Both of them more than 1,200 points, and Shashank, without people noticing, has ranked in more than 1,000 points, and it shows. In batting, Vikram and Naresh are right up there, more than 150 runs. Shashank contributed well, but in bowling as well, right? Vikram is their leading wicket taker, closely followed by Harish, Shashank, and then Naresh. So if I have to watch out for players, it will be Naresh, Shashank, Vikram, and Harish.
Again, Vamsi, I think they probably, it's the playoffs, they have to motivate some of their other players that we need at least 2 more guys or 3 more guys to chip in with some valuable contributions, both at the bat and the ball. And I honestly think that GLCC is a good batting unit, so that's where I feel 95 is not going to cut it. They probably need 110. I think you will get to 110 if you can at least score 100 with the bat.
And the next matchup we're going to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I cut you off. You were in the middle of.
No. I was just going to wish both teams best of luck. That's about it.
Well, the next game is probably going to be the showcased game of the week. We do not have showcase game of the week on the show, but I know a lot of folks will be tuning in to watch this close contest. It's between Sterling Strikers and Legends. So Sterling Strikers have topped the pool with 46 points. They've lost 2 games because in Pool A, every team lost more than 2 games, and Sterling Strikers lost one of those games to Hawks. And in this game, I think Sterling Strikers have fared pretty well this season, although the likes of Mansur Bhatt did not play many of the games. But for Legends, I'm going to have both the stats pull up, and then we are going to talk about each player. Sterling Strikers, it's going to be Ali Abbas that I know. Yep, 275 runs in 215 balls, striking at 127, averaging 35 player to watch out for. Raza Ali, on the contrary, he has lesser strike rate, but he doesn't give you his wickets. He played the most number of balls for Sterling Strikers. Then Ahsan Ansari, strike rate of 50, but he is not throwing away his wicket. He's valuing it, average of 20 runs across 7 games. Played well. And then Iftikhar, I'm not sure on his availability, but I would say the trump card for Sterling Strikers would be Jawad Zahid, because this guy just scores and takes wickets without people noticing. When it comes to Sterling Strikers bowling, Razal is right up there, 22 wickets, the leading wicket taker for Sterling Strikers. Saad Salman has done decent. He's picked only 13 wickets across 10 games, which means 1.3 wickets a game. Not phenomenal, but still good. And Saad, his economy is much better. Saad Salman, that is what is more important. He's giving runs at 2.4. So in those middle overs, you don't want to leak runs. Saad will do the job for you. And then Saad Farooq, I've seen him bowl that 23rd over, I believe, against Indus Thunders, 5 dots to Chetan Dushyant when Indus needed almost run a ball. And then the last ball, of course, Chetan hit for a 6, but he's very good. He's a very good addition to Sterling Strikers this year. Mansur Bhatt, he has not played much, picked up only 9 wickets. A tad expensive and not the strike rate what we see of regular Mansur Bhatt, because he picks up wickets less than 10 balls. At this time is averaging about 14 balls wicket. That's Sterling Strikers for you. Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that this is the most exciting matchup, at least for me personally, KK, because this is the one where I feel this is the toughest matchup for Sterling Strikers. You get to the number 3 seed, you're hoping for an easier opponent, and I just feel that this is not the opponent which they want. And also, Ali Abbas I have seen Dinesh Pandey take him out when both in leather ball as well as in, I believe it was in DCL too. So you see that while Legends may not have somebody of the same pace as Pandeti, they do have some very good quick bowlers. So it's going to be a problem because, if Abbas falls early, then there are certain these things. But I do think Sterling strikers can counterattack that by sending Ihsan Ansari up, because he's a pain to get out. I mean, that man stays at the wicket, and he's your prime time playoff player because he can make sure that you bat 25 overs. I mean, obviously going into the game, Sterling strikers are favored to win this game, especially because they beat Raptors without many of the big names. And now you have Mansab coming back. You are having Ali Abbas in the side. So, and Raza once again has picked 20 plus wickets. I think he has picked up 22 wickets. So the thing is that, all these guys are hitting prime form. So it should be a very interesting game. I think if you're looking from the Legends side, I have concerns about the Legends batting. I mean, I've had concerns about the Legends batting all through the season. Wherein I felt that, what is that again?
Before we discuss the concerns, right, I want to call out the players who have actually contributed this season, right? Harish, he had a subpar season with the bat, but still he's the top run getter, 180 runs. Decent strike rate, good average. Closely followed by Sai Pratap. Scored the same amount of runs. He comes one down. So Sai plays at a much crucial position compared to Harish, because you have to also score runs and also at the same time hold the wickets. So he's hitting form based on what I saw in the Safaris game. That's good to see. And Mahendra, his commitment to T-ball is lesser than what he commits for F40s. So Mahendra, he's their next best batsman. He played the most number of balls.
Is he impacted by F40, or is his team out?
Not that I know of. So he might be available for you.
Okay. So that's a plus point, because he's the counter attack for Ihsan Ansari, at least from the Legend side, because he can hold one end up. And if Ihsan Ansari is a pain to get out, Mahendra is a double pain to get out. I mean, based on the way they bat, they have a knack of negotiating tough balls and negotiating difficult circumstances. Both are very good at what they do.
And I would like to call out their firecracker, Guru Naga. He's not really fired this year, but his strike rate is right up there. He hit a few maximum, but he needs to click. If Legends have to progress further in the tournament. And I want to call out a couple of players here. They've not really played many games, but Prashant Pillai has been added at the rare end of the DCL for Legends. He fared pretty well, 53 runs in 4 games. And then Saurabh, the way he has played the last game, he doesn't like to give away his wicket. You see, 2 out of the 3 games he stayed not out. I like that average, and you need to have at least one player who plays with these strike rates so that the team gets that stability, especially, when you yourself thought that you're out of the playoffs and you get into the playoffs. In the playoff game, you need one end to hold up and score at 3 runs in over on one end, but on the other end, you can still counter attack. So that's good to see on their batting end. When it comes to bowling, the name we all expect to see up there, Harish Yelamanchili, their pick of the bowlers. And then Praveen, he picked up 19 wickets as well. Sai Pratap contributing with the ball as well. And then Guru has not really taken much wickets, 1 wicket a game with a strike rate of 25.8, which means he picks up a wicket every 4.2 overs. That's a cause of concern for Legends. But however, these 4 now followed by Srikanth. Srikanth, the way he bowled against Safaris, he was just breathing fire. And you see the top 5 bowlers, they all are giving runs below 4 runs an over, and their top 2 are about 3 runs or 2 runs an over, right? So Legends was always considered a bowling unit, and I think they have the bowling potential to stop Sterling strikers.
Yeah, I agree that they have the bowling potential, but I also think Sterling strikers have the batting ability. So if Sterling strikers can put 100 runs on that board, which, I don't think you should be aiming too high, because that's when you lose wickets. But I think if they put 100 on the board, it's game on. I mean, because Legends are yet to prove on the batting end is what I feel, that they are able to handle the pressure cooker situation. But again, I think Guru Naga has to raise the level of his play, because we have seen a much higher performance from him last year, and I think definitely this year the performances have fallen off. But let me ask you this question, Srikant Narne, you said that he was breathing fire in the game against who's the Safaris. I thought he was injured. So how serious is the injury, and is that going to be a problem which is going to raise its ugly head while this playoffs happen?
Well, we had this conversation probably at the end of May or mid-June. That's when he was injured. He was having shoulder issues, but then he worked it out. He was not playing too many tournaments. He has rested enough, and based on my discussion with him, he's ready to play all the playoffs.
Okay. Well, the good thing is Harish is fully committed to T-ball. I know his team RKCC may not like it, but we know that Harish is in case Sterling Strikers are wondering if Harish is going to show up, he's definitely going to show up. So same thing is going to happen for another player down the line. Not in this game, in a different game. Yep. But anyway, I think this is the game, as you rightly said, I'll be watching a close eye, because this is where I think the first upset can happen.
True. And the fourth encounter is going to be between Pokeris and MCC Miles. The fixture is a repeat from last week, but the result might not go the same way, because come playoffs games, any team can win. And now that Miles got into the playoffs, not in the 16th spot or not in the last moment like last year. This year they fared pretty well. And let me pull up the details. Both the teams are from the same pool. Pokeris at a higher seeding. They won 9 out of 11 games with 46 points, win percentage of 81. MCC Miles on the other end played 11 games, won 7, tied a game with Troy Hawks. They are placed at number 5 in their pool. But when it comes to MCC Miles batting, I know I'm going to say Brahma at the top. 266 runs with the highest score of 95. Hit 10 sixes. But then the man next to him is the most scarier guy. If I have to ever play a playoff game against him. Hit 20 maximums this season in 10 games, 232 runs. He's the one who was complaining that he was not getting enough chances. But, because he wanted to play more, at least he wants to get into touch. But in the last 2 or 3 games, he's done exactly that, striking at close to 100, scoring at an average of 29. So Rahul Chana is a threat to Pokeris, and Pokeris might have seen him play previous game. Right? He's the top scorer for MCC Miles that game. Then our foreign player Karthik Jayakumar, who drives from New Jersey every weekend to play a game. He has been, I would say, their sheet anchor, followed by Jashwant. He scored a century, but other than that, I didn't see him perform much, because you take out that 110 runs in that game, he scored 30 across 7 innings. Then Sanjay Elangovan, we know he's a playoffs guy, but this season at least he has not performed up to the standards he has set for himself in the past. Coming to bowling, Pranit Nilapati is right up there. His economy is a cause for concern. MCC Miles is known for their batting, but when it comes to bowling, they have very few bowlers who give less than 4 runs an over. One of them is Deepak Unial. He has played only 7 games, picked only 6 wickets, but economy-wise is doing good. And then Pranit Nilapati, the pick of the bowlers, followed by Raviteja Mita, Sunil Somawar, who again a very good bowler. He gives less than 4 runs an over, picks up a wicket every 14 balls, which means he's averaging 2 wickets a game. Mahesh Kuchipudi as well. And then I'll not read the Brahma's name here, because he has picked 6 wickets in that first game against Detroit Titans. But other than that, he got 2 wickets in the rest of the 3 innings that he bowled. I'm not sure if he'll be bowling in those playoff games, because if MCC Miles comes with a full unit, I think Abhilash Motorwar is going to play. He has a knack of picking wickets, and also his ball keeps low. So that's MCC Miles for me.
Yeah, Vamsi, I'll say that if you look at the Miles batting, there are 5 guys who have hit more than 100 runs, you see. So their batting is pretty solid. And And that is without taking into account that, some of their other people are pretty capable of batting, like Deepak Kuniyal. If I'm not mistaken, he's pretty good batsman, you see. So I'm pretty sure I think Miles' problem has been getting all their top 11 available, but come playoffs, you have to hope that many of these guys are going to have the same degree of conviction and willingness to sacrifice which Karthik Jayakumar has, right? I mean, if he's driving all the way from Jersey, many of these other guys should be playing more games and should be making themselves available more. You have to respect that man's dedication and say that, what a fantastic effort. If he can do that and drive from Jersey and come here and play, then why can't I do this? So hopefully some of these other guys like Deepak Kuniyal and I think there's Mahesh Kuchipudi, he bowled pretty good against us. That's why I remember his name. Should be playing and should be, performing. And I personally feel this is a tough outing for Pokeris. Because yes, they won this last game very convincingly, but I know one thing in all of sports, it's very difficult to beat a good team 2 times in a row or 3 times in a row kind of a thing. So usually the good teams figure out a way. But I think Pokeris, their biggest advantage is Vicky's sudden find of form just in the nick of time, and of course, Saran Raj has been an MVP-like performance. Do you have Saran on your team?
Yes.
On your fantasy team, right? I mean, in the auction, you got him.
Yes, your team managed to mint out 17.5 million out of me.
Yeah, well, actually, we had him very high on our team. I mean, in the sense, he was a guy for whom we were all in to make a big run. I mean, when we discussed between Chetan, Gaba, and myself and Mahesh, we were very, very high. All 4 of us were high on Saran, saying that, we should try to snag him. I think 17.5 when it got, we chickened out. But I think probably that was a mistake because we wasted some 16, 17 million, right? So obviously this is the first time we were doing it. So we learned a few lessons from that we probably should have gone a little higher and been willing to go a little higher. But we all learned from our mistakes. But I think that Pokeris' biggest advantage is their commitment from these guys. They have these 13, 14 players who are very, very dedicated and committed. And we're going to be seeing them in action. And so how many players do they have on their roster?
22.
22,
if
okay.
You ask me how many of them actually qualified, not many, because 5 of them didn't qualify. 17 qualified.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, but
even if they have Govind is going to play the game, they're going to make Prasanna go and play the game because based on what I saw the other day, that's going to happen. But credit to
absolutely, they have no complications with Mishka, so that's a good thing. I mean, even if they have complications, these guys are committed here, so that's not an issue.
And Sharan has been the top run scorer, 200 runs, and Arun Tinkaran, he's the guy Pokeris have been looking for a while because when Neil and Vicky and Sharan builds up that innings, this year Arun has been the one who has been doing the boundary hitting. 14 sixes and 3 boundaries. That's what pretty much 96 runs out of his 178, which is almost 60% of the runs coming in boundaries to get the strike rate.
Vamsi, the thing is that you bowl him the wrong ball. The ball, you will be fetching the ball from outside the park.
True.
That's what I observed. I mean, I saw an incredible shot from him and I thought it was a world-class shot. So, I have a lot of respect for his ability in the sense that if you can hit those kind of shots, the sky is the limit kind of a thing. But I mean, it's a very solid unit out there. I mean, so this should be a very good game is what I'm guessing. But having said that, we expected this to be the showcase game of the week or close to the showcase game of the week last week. And, Pokeris ran away with that game. So, I mean, I think hopefully Miles has a better bowling lineup. I think the problem for Miles was the bowling was not up to par. So if they can get some...
The problem with that is, Viju, Pokeris have 2 left-handers in their lineup, Satish and Raghu. And when you're bowling to a right and left combination, it's always, the bowler is bound to make some mistakes here and there. And Miles has not been a bowling unit; they're a batting unit, right? And that is where, even though scored about close to 100 runs, Pokeris were able to run away with it.
Okay.
With Miles, I don't think they have a lefty in their lineup. And so even in practice, you don't get a chance to bowl to those lefties.
Okay.
And then when it comes to Pokeris bowling, Sharon has done, again, pretty well. His economy is 2.34, average of 5, and picking a wicket every 13 balls. So do Raghu, right? He has an economy of 3 and picking a wicket every 13 balls. He picked up 16
Well,
wickets.
Even Ravi, the ageless wonder, has been bowling well for several years, not just this year. But you go back and look at it, I keep wondering how in the world this guy is maintaining his fitness to this level, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems to be the fountain of youth. Somehow that fountain of youth did not translate to the head because he lost all the hair. But having said that, he looks the same every year.
Well,
so
yes,
he's doing something.
I think the top three are going to bowl in this game, but from the next 3, I think 2 of them are going to get a chance to bowl. Because based on what I saw, Prasanna Govind is pretty good. His intensity as a bowler, his line and length, very good. 12 overs, 3 wides, he did decent. And Vicky, he bowls when the team needs, but I think their preference would be Prasanna bowling, being the 4th bowler.
All the best to both teams.
Yep. And the next game is between Raptors and Titans. Detroit Titans, a team that has, in one of our guest terms, right, has taken his players, right? But however, Titans made it to the playoffs this year, and they split up from KRCC when the season started. I think they had 3 losses in a row, whereas Raptors on the other end, they are at number 5. So let's look at the points table. So Raptors placed second in the pool, have 45 points from 9 victories and 2 losses. And on the other end, they're going to play Detroit Titans. Detroit Titans placed 4th in their pool, well ahead of MCC Miles and SLCC Legends. So let's look at how Raptors fared. And when they're in their batting, we all know Amar has been scoring left and right since last year and scored 325 runs at an average of 36 and a strike rate of 120. That's intimidating for any opposition. And Gagan Singh scored about 200 runs, more than 100 strike rate. Ajit Anmolu scored more than 100 runs, 100 strike. 3 batsmen scoring at more than 100 strike rate, but the next 3 guys are the sheet anchors. Kiran Boinapalli, he comes on the show, says he's not a batsman, but Viju, I think you roasted him for after he scored a 50, and then Pradeep Anjuru.
No, I roasted him for misleading information, you see, because for me that is laughable. If he's not a batsman now, who should we term as batsman? You see, should I term the person who has scored in 9 innings, 21 runs as a batsman? You see, that's where I have the problem. You get my point? You look at this stats, all right? This guy is saying he's not a batsman and he's scoring this kind of runs. For me, that's ridiculous. He is a batsman. Forget a batsman, he's a good bowler too, and I think it's injuries which is derailing him. But, let's just give him credit for where the credit is due. When a man performs, you have to applaud him.
Right. And I think, Anjuru, Butta are going to be the key factors along with Kiran, because come to playoffs, we've seen that, you're going to play quality bowling. And when you play quality bowling, if your wickets fall, there needs to be someone who takes the team through those 25 overs, also score runs. So Pradeep Butta, Anjuru and Kiran would be those guys for me. And I think Naveen Gajla might play this game. So
Butta availability might be questioned.
Okay.
Why is that?
He's injured. He has ligament tear.
If it's a Butta, I know he will find a way to play through injury. It's a regular
every game, but
but see, regular season is one thing and playoffs is a different thing. And he's a money player, so he should be playing. I would take a 75% Butta over 100% somebody else.
But the point is, Butta is bound to take those quick singles between the wickets with the ligament tear. I don't think he's going to be at his 100%, right? Because that is what frustrates the opposition. You score one boundary or two boundaries in an over, it doesn't frustrate you. But when you just tap and run or steal singles when there are no singles, what happens?
I agree, but you also need the your runner to be equally fast, right? So when he and Vikas runs, yes, I agree with that assessment. But I'm not sure if that tactic is going to work with Amar and Botta. You get my point? You see where I'm going at? I mean, it all depends on who the partner at the other end is also. Of course, then the counter logic would be, when Amar is there, I really don't need to run quick singles because I'm getting boundaries left, right, and center.
I don't think Pradeep Botta is even going to go in when Amar is there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I mean, they're pretty good at figuring that out. But let me ask you a question, Vamsi. You guys are playing Indus, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you had a choice, would you prefer to play Raptors or would you prefer to play Indus?
Well,
I put you on the spot. But you can answer because you're not Dishan. So, it's your personal preference. I mean, as an analyst, I'm asking this question. Who would you prefer?
Well, I would go with Raptors.
You would go with Raptors?
Yes.
You would prefer to play Raptors as opposed to Indus?
Yes.
Is that because Sandeep is in their side, or because Gagan is in their side? I mean, because it's more fits into your bowling and batting style, is it because I'm talking from a team perspective?
Irrespective of how my games went against Raptors this year, right? What I noticed is that Raptors, when it comes to big games, I don't think they trust their main core players too much. As in, the players who have played for them for 8-9 games, they would be sitting out, and players who have played 3 or 4 games, they would be playing, right? And even though we do not say it, that disturbs the harmony of the team. And when it comes to playing on the field, I think Raptors do not have the fastest bowlers there.
Well, they have Mohit Patel, who is a very good bowler. If you personally ask me, I think he's a very good bowler. So,
yes, but
he has got decent pace.
We have played against the team twice, right? And I don't think Mohit got a chance to finish his quota in both the games, one in DCL, one in Michigan.
Okay.
So that's something, when the chips are down, when you need
Michigan Cup you won, but what about in DCL? DCL also you won that game.
Yes, we won that game.
Okay, so okay, I see the logic.
It doesn't matter. I'm not saying it based on the results this year or my performance this year, but it is purely based on, if you take Indus Thunders and Raptors, I think the harmony in Indus Thunders is much more compared to how they approach the playoffs, right? Raptors, how they approach the playoffs. Because we have seen they have sat out Kiran one year when they played against.
That was a blunder. That was a huge blunder.
And
that was inexcusable.
Correct.
That was absolutely inexcusable.
In a knockout game, they sat out Pradeep Anjuru, who was their main, I would say, administrator. He has played most of those, league games, but come to playoffs, he has been sat out. Right. So we've seen these things happen because I think somehow the team loses a little bit of head when it comes to game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I also played them in indoor, and we can all say that indoor and outdoor are different for all what you want to say. But I don't know. I mean, that's a complete unit. That's how I feel. But yeah, I do agree. I mean, when I look at the past performance against Sterling strikers, that causes me to pause a bit, in the sense that what happened there, I mean, they didn't have their, I mean, I was so confident that these guys will win, and that too with bonus. And you also had them winning, except that you said the bonus will not, will go to Sterling strikers. But we saw that the result was completely different. But yeah, I mean, I think all their top players are going to be available and they will be playing. So I think it's a tough out for anybody playing Raptors. That's my personal opinion. But
and out of these bowlers, right? I think Sandeep will definitely bowl. Sai Manoj will bowl. And then you look at the economies, right? The next best is Mohit Patel. And after that, Amar. Amar picks up a wicket every 27 balls, and then Mohit Patel picks up a wicket every 25 balls. And Sai Manoj picks up a wicket every 5 overs, once in every 5 overs. So they have bowled the most number of overs for Raptors. So you can say whatever you can say that we have our bowling resources covered, but stats are like miniskirts. They reveal more than what they hide.
Yeah, that's true. But I also think that Ajit is a very good bowler too. So
correct. But he has not had the same amount of success, that he usually gets when it comes to wickets this year, right? Let's look at the wickets as well before we move on. He got 10 wickets across 7 games.
Yeah. So for example, will Ashok Bhavanam be in there playing 11 or playing 12? You know him better.
When it comes to playoffs, you cannot even imagine what Raptors will do. They have the knack of sitting out their best players and bringing in someone else thinking that they'll do wonders.
Okay. All right. I'm not an expert on Raptors, but I'll defer to you on that one.
Mm-hmm. And coming to Detroit Titans, right? Satish Gava, their skipper, I've been saying this multiple times on the show. When he was batting 4 down, 5 down, I said he has to bat up the order. Probably open 1 down or 2 down. He cannot play lower than that. You see the reason why he's the best player on the team, and he deserves to play most number of balls. He has played the most number of balls for Detroit Titans. Vihar Vaidya, he strikes at 50 runs strike rate, but he's given them runs, averaging about 20 runs. 8 innings, 120. Abhishek Verma has also found some touch. The next 3 players, right? They have stuck at more than 100 strikes. Next 4 players: Abhishek Verma, Anil, Sahesh, and Diptikant.
Yeah, so now, honestly, Vamsi, let's not put Diptikant into that list because he has played only 3 games. All right, so this is a late addition by Gaba, but he really has performed pretty well for being such a late addition. I do know that he plays for RKCC, but if I am Gaba, I'm going to be telling Diptikant, this makes absolutely no sense for you to be trying to play for RKCC because all the main players on RKCC have all given priority to DCL. So that leather ball game is going to get delayed. Whether it is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever it is, it's going to get delayed. Simple as that. Because when you have all those players playing out here, well, the RKCC skipper, I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, will have to defer to his players' interests, you see, and make it happen. And we also know that on the other side, Dinesh Pandeti is the skipper. So, and there are some very strong opinions within Indus also, where they feel that, the committee has not been really fair to them in terms of enacting this late rule change. And you will see that both teams have very, very strong reasons to push that leather ball game as late as possible, wherever necessary, and cut down the overs and things like that, and still have a game. So I think it's going to happen, and I think Gaba should make Diptikant play here. That's if I'm Gaba, that's what I'm doing.
Because out of this 3 outings, right, Viju has got 30+ scores twice, and he's not scored those runs in a single game.
That is why I'm saying that he has to play. Even though I have never seen him play, I'm just saying the stats do not lie here. You get my point? He has been performing well. So you need to get him in because I have more confidence in him than some of their other players, you see.
Correct. And when it comes to their bowling, I think Vinith is at the top. He's played all 11 games along with Vihar, but I'm not sure if Vinith will get a chance to play in the playoffs.
My feeling is he will play because the reason I'm saying that is because Gaba is high on him. And I'm just saying this based on our fantasy conversations. You see? So I think he will play. Vihar will play for sure. Saurav will play. So it'll be a very interesting this thing.
Yep. Well, we'll move on to the next game. We're going to come back to these, when we discuss about predictions. But the next game that we need to talk about is KRCC versus Strikers. We know what happened the last time these 2 teams met. It's been a while since that happened. Strikers have managed 37 points. KRCC managed 44 points. Let's see where they are in their respective pools. KRCC second on their pool standing. 9 victories in 11 games, 44 points. Very good net run rate. On the other end, strikers, again from the same pool, they won 7 out of the 11 games. They've lost 4 games, but still from the 7 victories, they were able to get 37 points. So that's because they came close in the rest of the contest. They were able to take those bonus points, right? Well, let's look at KRCC to begin with. I believe Hemant should be right at the top. It's pulling up. Yes, Hemant is right at the top. 219 runs, strike rate of 131. And he played all the games, so the commitment is right there. And then Tamim Oni is their next highest scorer, 128. Maulik Patel has not enjoyed the same season as last year. Because last year, he is the batting MVP. He is the best batsman of DCL 2021, right? And then Ziban, an aggressive batsman. But Maulik, Ziban, and Onkar. Onkar has only batted well in one of the innings. He scored 45 runs, but in his other outings, he managed 23 out of 6 outings. So that's a great sign. And Jasneet this year has struggled in the batting department. When it comes to bowling,
go ahead. No, sorry.
When it comes to bowling, Tamim Oni, their pick of the bowlers, has picked a wicket every 10 balls. Great economy in there, 3.1. But then Hemant Bharadwaj is also right there in the batting, in the bowling charts. 14 wickets in 11 games, a strike rate of 17.6, close to a wicket every 3 overs. Then Mufassir Ali, the magician with the ball, his economy is 2.85. He bowled only 5 times, picked up 11 wickets. His strike rate is 10.7. So if KRCC has one of the greatest strengths, that is these 3 folks, Tamim Oni, Mufassir Ali, and Rehan Ahmed, bowling in the same game, right? Because their strike rates are 10.2, 10.7, 11.3. So if you average it out, they're probably picking a wicket every 2 overs. And if they bowl 15 overs, the average shows it's going to get 8 wickets. Even if they get 6 wickets, I think that's game on.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is very clear, Vamsi, that you will see all these guys play here. The strikers should expect Tamim Oni, Ryan Ahmed, who's this? Mufassir Ali. Every one of them will be playing this game. Ziban, all of them is going to be playing this game. So that's for sure it's going to happen. The only guy who's not going to be playing will be Lincoln. He played only 2 games, so he's not qualified. But anyways, they don't need Lincoln because KRCC is a premium bowling unit and they have the bowlers to get it done. Where I have a concern with KRCC is on their batting end, because you saw that collapse 47 for 7 against local boys. And if local boys can make you collapse to 47 for 7, strikers can expect to do that or should be expecting to do that. But then the strikers also need to have a game plan on how they are going to handle the bowling of KRCC. I think I already talked to Maulik Patel and I was telling him, hey, Maulik, why are you changing what is working? When something is working, Vamsi, I always say that don't change something which is working. If it is working well, and he got the Best Batsman award last year, and he was being very patient. Now, remember, this was a guy who wanted to hit a 6 on every ball when he played for Glads, when he first came and joined Glads. And I had to work on him and say that, let's not finish it. Why, Vamsi? We played a DCL final and against Falcons, a full toss ball, and he wanted to finish it Dhoni style and got out. I could have killed him on that day. I honestly wanted to kill him on that day. But let me tell you something. He has matured a lot since then. Last year was the first time I saw where he stayed at the wicket. He picked the ball which he wanted to hit, where he felt comfortable, not rushing through any shots, forgetting the strike rate. Because playoff games is all about batting 25 overs. You need to bat 25 overs. You can't waste any of those overs out. And, you have to last 25 overs too. So if that team is having a problem, you have already shown that you can do that. So I was telling him he needs to do that. Just for him personally, more than anything else, he's a friend of mine. So a good friend of mine. So I would like to see him do well. So that's why I said, hey, go back to think about your last season and see if you can battle that. Why do you want to change it, especially when you won the best batsman award there? But I think still, if you ask me, Vamsi, I expect KRCC to win this game. I think all of us, when we put the predictions, we'll know exactly where we stand. But my feeling is strikers have to change a few things. And Parthiv is a very smart guy, and he has Kapil, who's an equally smart guy. So these guys will be able to change a few things. They must change a few things from their first round debacle, and also seeing their stars debacle, because there are eerie similarities there. And they have to say, hey, those two fixes are still not good enough. If we want to create an upset and pace is a problem, we need to work on that and figure that solution out. But yeah, I think Ishan Patel has to play a critical game. He's a good left-hander, lot of energy. He's a fantastic fielder too. But what I don't like is lack of presence of mind, and getting caught up in the situation and losing the semblance of balance. That's what I would say. Hey, you need to calm down and just get your head in that you can't throw away wicket and can't take stupid runs. Vinod Singh has to raise the level of his game, because he's clearly their best bowler, so he has to get that job done. And field placement is going to be very, very critical in this game. If Parthiv can figure out where to place certain fielders for certain players, I think he will be able to get some easy wickets there.
Okay. And from their batsman, Parag has been their main batsman, scored 121. Kishore and Ishan scored more than 100. So did Dinesh. Nujala has scored more than 100. But I think Parthiv has to play better. When his team has to go further. He was not there for 3 weeks. He was in India, but he managed to score 74. And if he can manage to at least score 1/3 of it, get those 25 runs against KRCC, he'll be able to give a good fight in the game. And in their bowling, Vinod Singh, the ageless wonder, main bowler for them. But Kapil Chowdhury, he's the one who takes wickets. A wicket every 9.6. That's better than Oni's stats. That's better than Mufasir Ali's stats. So Kapil Chowdhury has to play this game. And then I think as a bowling unit, they need to click and restrict KRCC.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yep. The next game, the next matchup is between Indus and FCC. Indus are placed at 3rd in the pool. They won 9 out of the 11 games. Few of them went as close encounters. That's the reason you see them below 45 points. They got 44 points out of those 11 games. FCC on the other end from the same pool, the best ever season so far, for FCC, won 8 of 11 games, but still managed to get 38 points. And they have a playoff ranking of 10. That's the best in FCC's history. So let's see how these two teams and how their performance are this year. Coming to batting, for Indus Thunders, Praveen Bangera has been their mainstay. He's the only guy who scored more than 100 runs. And then Naresh did not have a great season, averaging about 10. He's a much better player than that. He scored 83 runs. Then Aniruddha Dorle, good. At least he has good average, but he's not played many games. Sandeep Gopu himself. Then Rahul Shivpujay, the surprise addition. He has 45 runs out of those 55 in a single game. Because he gets to bat very low down the order. But who is more crucial for their team is Shrikant Erwa and Chetan Dushyant. And not sure on Manoj Singh and Dinesh Pandit's availability, so I'm going to stop right there with batting. And I'll also mention about the bowling before I hand it over to you. Viju. For Indus in the bowling department, Rahul has played every single game, picked up 17 wickets. Great economy, 2.45. The ball keeps low. He has a knack of picking wickets, averaging 6. 3 bowlers are averaging about 6 runs. For every 6 runs, they're picking a wicket. That's Sri Harsha, Rahul Shivpujay, and Shrikant Erwa. Shrikant has been bowling spin that I noticed recently. He's bowling spin for his team. And then comes Dinesh Panditi. Played 6 games, bowled 5 times, picked 8 wickets. And then Bangera himself, picked 6 wickets out of 5 outings. Jalaj has been strong for about 26 runs in his 5 overs in the previous game. And his average is on the higher end. The strike rate is not really what we saw in the past. Someone said Jalaj is the best spinner that I have faced, I think, earlier in the show. But stats don't reveal that. That's Indus batting in. Vijay,
Vamsi, I think this is a real challenge for Indus. Honestly, if you ask me, I like to play teams at their best strength and play off. If you are trying to promote a product, let the best players come and play and make it happen. I don't want to beat Indus if they are compromised. I mean, I feel bring their best unit on. I'll bring my best unit on. Let's put on a show. May the best team win. Simple as that. But will Indus be able to play their best unit? I do think they have something working in their favor, which is that both Dinesh Pandeti and RKCC skipper have similar problems. So in the sense that they both will want to work with each other. And honestly, they both also should say, you know what, let's go out and put our best unit in. And honestly, I think that's going to happen. Now, hopefully Pandeti plays here and doesn't say, oh, I don't want to play here and then play the Mishka game. Because if you really ask me,
there is one problem though. Dinesh leads the team, and Dinesh and Manoj did put the team together in F40.
I agree with that. But having said that, you're playing a long season. You also have a responsibility to these guys too. You have been playing with them for so long, right? I mean, so you are one of their best players. I mean, if I was in the same shoes, I will, and I am that kind of a difference maker, I'll go out and play, because you know what, I don't want to let anybody down, and I'll put an extra ounce of energy into playing that leather ball game. I do think that Dinesh's team is talent-wise vastly superior to the RKCC team in the leather ball game, so they are going to win that game. So they already have the advantage. So my feeling is, I'm making a pitch to have those guys play here in the DCL game. The reason is I don't like to beat a champion and say I'm a champion with them being compromised. I mean, that's not the way to win a game. So I mean, you bring your best unit out. Let's play it out. I mean, if we are that good, then we should be able to beat you. And if we can't, hey, more power to you and appreciate it for what it is. But they are a champion team. I think they will use this as an opportunity to motivate each other. I mean, I hope that they will somehow make things work. And so I'm hopeful of it. And I think mainly because I know the Mishka situation, and I think that situation blends itself beautifully because players on both sides want to play here too. So if there is a way to make that dream possible, why not make it possible? You know.
Let me tell you this, Viju. You know, FCC and Thunders played a game earlier in the season, right? And the Thunders F40 game was cancelled because the opponent did not have enough players to play that game. And myself and Dinesh met the game the night before the game, and I told him the same thing. He said, playing the 12 is announced. I said, get your best team because we want to play the best team. And in that game, every single one of them, Manoj played, you know, Gopu played, then Dinesh Pandeti played, and Bangera played. And those are the games we want to play against, right? And but I know Nishant is going to hate me for saying that I actually encouraged Dinesh to play that game, but it is what it is, and that is my line of thought. It has nothing to do with how Nishant thinks. But yep, moving on, we'll go into the FCC batting stats for a bit. Shashank Gowda has been the highest run scorer, striking it close to 100. And then Satish, he played less games than Shashank, but he scored about 111. Then Pratik has played 11 games, the highest number of games for FCC this season. He scored close to 107 runs and decent strike rate, but I think that average is slightly higher. Then Amit Gowda is primarily a bowler, but after these performances, staying not out in 3 games out of 7 innings, averaging 26. That's pretty good. And then my commitment to DCL this year has been a little less, but I've had some decent outings myself. And when it comes to bowling, it is Sujan all the way, economy of 3.22. Then strike rate of 7. His strike rate has been slightly on the higher end, but he doesn't give you any extras, right? Because he bowled close to 40 overs, gave away 8 wides. That's probably 1 wide in every game that he bowls, right? That's phenomenal. Then Prabhu has picked up wickets, but slightly on the expensive side. Tejo has been good, 3.7 economy, picked up 10 wickets in 7 games. Karthik Ramchandru, economy wise, he did well, but he didn't pick many wickets, but into the double digits. And Amit Gowda, economy 3.5 again. He fared pretty well this season.
Vamsi, let me ask you a question. If I could take one player from FCC, who do you think I will take?
Sujan.
Actually, no. I will take Shashank Gowda. I really like the way he plays the game. I mean, you see his batting. He's technically very correct. He's a wonderful batsman. He's a pretty decent bowler. He's an all-round package. He's a good fielder. And it is very difficult to find a complete package. You can get good batsmen who might not be good fielders. You might get good bowlers who cannot bat. And if you find an all-rounder, oftentimes they might not be good fielders. It's very difficult to find a complete package. And I feel with Shashank Gowda is that he's a complete package. I mean, I can count on him is what I feel, but that's just my personal preference. I was just going to throw out there. Amit Gowda has been a revelation this year, but I mean, he's an aggressive batsman, and I mean, he's been bowling well within this thing and getting his wickets. I think the biggest advantage for FCC is that Nishant has done a fabulous job as a captain. So this is at least got you guys all on the same page and things like that. So you will have a tough outing. I do not like the matchup. I think FCC's matchup with Indus is not very good. But having said that, I think this is the best FCC unit I personally have seen. In all the years I've been following FCC, I think in terms of talent, in terms of production, in terms of camaraderie, in terms of getting along with each other, I think all that is getting reflected. I also think this is the best performance based in points FCC has ever done. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if that is correct, then there is a reason. All these things have gelled together and come out well. Going into the season, I'm wondering how could we have been all so wrong, because we did not even expect FCC to make the playoffs. I mean, I would have said playoffs. What are they talking about? Because you lost so many players, you see. So I did not. I mean, I keep wondering, what if Tejas had stayed back, and how much better would this unit have been? I mean, that thought crosses my mind. Tejas played for FCC for all these years, and finally, when he left, suddenly the FCC team is so much more better. Not because he left, but because somehow they have added all these pieces and from other teams and things like that, and it's just worked. And especially you lost all those Falcons guys. Not in a million years I would have thought that this was possible. But we have a game on hand is what I feel. But I still would give the edge to the experience of Indus Thunders. And I also think that Indus Thunders will have their players. That's my deep thinking, is that I think they will get their players. They will all find a way to play here. I think the Mishka games, even though it is slated for a 12 o'clock start, I see that more getting pushed out. Simple as that. Because both teams want to do that for that simple reason.
Sounds good. And the last DCL playoff matchup that we're going to talk about is between Troy Hawks and Stars. Well, who would have thought that, the way Troy Hawks were playing early in the season, they'll be, actually playing against, Stars. But, they have an advantage as well here, Troy Hawks, because Stars is known to lose those wickets in a clutter, and, they run like a headless chicken at times. We have seen it more than...
Vamsi, let me stop you there. This headless chicken has a head now, all right? And that head is my friend Mahesh Mutiala, who was one of my chief heads in the fantasy auction draft, all right? As long as he's going there and opening, I don't think it'll be a headless chicken, my friend.
Well, it's been brought to my attention that the DCL rule change, which it shows in the document saying that the rule was changed on 6/28. How can they have the version mentioning that the rule was changed on 6/28 when it is changed end of August?
Well, I already told you in August 27th, I got this information that rule book was not changed. I think the DCL committee thinks that we are all fools. Let me be honest. I mean, it doesn't matter who is on the DCL committee. I'm calling out the entire DCL committee, all right? They must be thinking we are all fools who were born yesterday. And we do not, none of us know what a revision change is, and none of us know what a verbiage is. And I would have said this if Parthiv Mehta was here. And there is no way he can defend it. Because if you change the rule on August 29th, I don't know which date they changed it, and I'm not smart enough to go and figure that out. But I know many of you in the IT industry are equally smart to figure out when a version was changed and when things happen. It doesn't matter what discussion you guys talked about. The season has already started and teams played with that rule. And so now you're going to go out and change it. But anyways, whatever methods are being accomplished or pushed around, they are just looking foolish at this point. I mean, they're getting a bad rap on this one for the simple reason that you have not been consistent. But having said that, and also the question becomes vested interests have come into play. That's the other problem. Vested interests are coming into play. My honest feeling is, despite all these efforts, all these teams are going to find a way to get all their critical players to play the game. So in the end, nobody achieved anything. You just ended up with a bad rap.
Yep. And the last game, right, is between Troy Hawks and Stars. For Troy Hawks, Pradeep Konradi has been sensational, then closely followed by Shashi and Nataraj, who moved in from a different team, after COVID. And Kaushik Chapidi, he has scored about 105. He hit a good number of sixes, but the main run scorer for Troy Hawks has been Pradeep. He hit 19 sixes. And then Sharath and Aman are the left-handers in their team. So those are the batting mainstays for me when it comes to bowling. Again, Kaushik Chapidi is leading the charts in the bowling department in the entire DCL. He took 27 wickets. That's at least 5 wickets more than the next best. And then Abhilash Dandamudi, he had enjoyed a good amount of success. He picked up 18 wickets. But then the next best bowler is Murli Palavela when it comes to wickets. But Santosh Mutnuru, I was mentioning earlier, he got an economy of 1.94 and he's picking a wicket every 8 balls. He only played 4 games. 23 runs and 9 wickets. His average is 2.56. So he's going to be a key, and I really wish Troy Hawks are going to play him. Sai Koredi is a late addition. Again, he might turn out to be sensational on a day, or you always have to take a chance when it comes to Sai Koredi because he can turn the game on its head. That's pretty much Troy Hawks for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pradeep Konradi's batting has been sensational this season, right? I mean, remember, I think 1 or 2 primetime shows ago, we were looking at his stats 2019 to 2021 and 2022, and we said it was a stratospheric improvement. I mean, he's going to be a critical player for Troy Hawks. I think Kaushik has a very good team on his side. And let me ask you this: if Troy Hawks beat Stars, I know Stars are the higher seed, but it's I think, what is that, 7 versus 8 or whatever it is? Is it 7 versus 8? Yeah, 7 versus 8,
8
right?
versus 9.
8 versus 9. So my question is that considered an upset? That's in your book?
Not really, because Troy Hawks is at a higher seeding than Stars, and it is
No, okay. Well, for me, even if Troy Hawks was 9 and Stars were 8, for me, it's not an upset. They are, they are pretty much very close on points. And I mean, I think Troy Hawks has been playing fantastic. I mean, having played them, we escaped with the victory is what I would say. But I think Stars batting is going to be a little bit suspect here because they are going to face a level of bowling which is probably superior to what they have faced in many other games. But this is another game which I would like to keep a watch on. Obviously, the winner of this place, the winner of the top this thing. So that is another reason to watch out. But even if it was not here, I would have still been curious on this game because I can see this game go either way. I'm coming to the prediction on that. It's a toss-up for me, actually. I mean, they have some critical players on both sides, but in terms of performance, Troy Hawks has come out of the higher, out of that pool of death. So they'll be going into this game with a confidence that we already faced some of the beasts of Pool C. So we probably can handle a lot what somebody else throws at us. But it'll be interesting. I think it's a interesting matchup. All these games are taking place Saturday morning, so it should be a. I mean, and some of these teams do broadcast. So the question is, which game do you want to follow?
Yeah.
So
And,
I know I'll be probably having the TV screen and two computer monitors all side by side, trying to get as much game in as much as possible.
well, I mean, let's look at the Stars batting. This is the last team we are going to review today. Ravita Reddy, their mainstay, 249 runs. Then Sean, Jishan, Sham, and Mahesh Mutyala are their next best batsman. But Hari has qualified himself, and he recently had a score of 33. And if he replicates his performance from his performance a few years ago for Blazers, then I think Stars will win this. If not, if they fail like the rest of the few matches, right, which we have seen earlier this season, then they are going to be in trouble. Because on the bowling end, they have lethal weapons. Imtiaz, 20 wickets, economy of 2.7, 5 wides across 42 overs. I don't think I've seen better than that. And then Venki, you asked me why he has. He's on that list of 65 players for the draft. This is the reason.
Okay.
Strike rate of 9, average of 7.3, 20 wickets. Right. And Ravita already 19 wickets across 9 games. Deepak Giriyappa, great economy, but I think teams are just defending not to give him wickets. And then Anvish. These are the 5 bowlers for me for Stars going into the game.
Yeah, I mean, will Satya Achanta play? I mean, he's a very good bowler too.
Yeah,
I mean, I see him on the list there. So he's played 4 games. I know he has probably a leather ball game. I'm not sure, but
whom will he
playing
replace?
on?
Yeah, you have 5 bowlers. If you have to bring in Satya, I think Venki has to sit up. Because the problem for
here is the thing. I mean, what the stats is something which I did not realize when I asked you how come Venki came on the list. I didn't realize he had picked 20 wickets. I mean, that tells me that there has been Venki has gotten older, but Venki's bowling has not really dropped off, and he's still picking wickets, and he's still doing a great job. So that's what it tells me. So,
Viju, actually, Venki finished a marathon this year. So his fitness is right up there.
Oh, please get out of here! Really?
Yes.
I probably should. Next time I should see him, I should salute him and say, "Man, you're amazing." I know he looked lean and fit and things like that, but I didn't expect the marathon here.
Yeah, but there it is. The 16 teams and their matchups. Satya, do you want to start sharing your screen into the predictions?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered all the games, went into each team's top players list, and we've given good amount of coverage to all the 16 teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think we tried our best.
Okay. So
yeah, did you notice something, Vamsi?
Yeah. Well, yes. Your picture.
What
changed.
did you notice? Yeah, I've changed my picture.
I'll tell you the reason.
I brought my friend Avinash Raghu for good luck as a good luck charm, because the other guy was already there in the picture, in the previous picture too.
Well, Satya, can you go back to the standings?
Oh, you want to go to standing?
I mean, the prediction standings.
Oh,
He wants you to go back a slide to show that I'm in last place.
Yeah, that is the
Being
reason
eaten
he
by
needs
the
some
lion.
luck. That's the reason he needs
Yeah,
some luck.
So if I win this, or if I get out of last place, I can blame it on Mr. David Zachariah as the bad luck charm and Avinash Raghu as the good luck charm.
Well,
I don't mind criticizing my own son. Hey, if he's bringing bad luck, he's bringing bad luck. That's all I know.
Vijay, you are also in that picture.
I'm there in the picture, but I'm the I have to be in the picture. But I brought along two guys who are supposed to be good luck charms. So now we have to find out who the bad luck charm is. I'm betting it's David Zachariah. So that's why
Okay.
I kicked him out of the picture and brought in Avinash Raghu as a replacement. Anyway, the Pokeris are not using Avinash Raghu, so I might as well use Avinash Raghu. All right.
Satya, let's run because we know who gets eaten up with there.
So it's quick.
Yeah.
The party goes with Glads. KK.
Gladiators for me.
Okay.
All right. It's Glads for both of us too.
Myself, I'm not moving. I didn't put that. Okay. Viju also may not move. Okay. I didn't do those two. Okay. Viju goes with Glads. Satya goes with Glads. It's same for all the slides. Okay. I copy paste. So, okay.
And Patriots has been spelled wrong as Patriots.
That's
Viju,
okay.
I am in a hurry. Yeah. I have to just create some slides. Okay. So, Triox Stars. It's going to be good game. Yeah. So
yeah, KK, who are you going with?
Party goes with Stars.
I am debating in this game which team I have to pick. I think I will still go with Trihawks.
Okay.
And what is Mr. Satya going with?
I'm going with Stars.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Troy Hawks on this one. I need to do some catch up. I'm going to take a risk on this one. I think it's a sensible risk. So since both Parthiv and Satya are going with Stars, it makes a lot of sense for me to go with Troy Hawks.
Okay. Pokeris and Miles.
Pokeris for me.
Yeah, he goes with Pokeris, I go with Pokeris too. Viju.
Yeah, I'm going to go with MCC. I'm going to go with MCC Miles.
Good.
I think if I truly believe it's a good team, then I have to think that you don't beat often a good team 2-3 times in a row.
If Pokeris
back to back.
If Pokeris fails in 3 quarters, Ravi will come to India to see you.
Yeah, he and I and Hariharan Dhanasekaran will go out for a dinner. That's what we did last time. So we'll go but this time I'll take a picture, and next year's my profile picture will have Ravi Narala on that profile picture.
Okay. So Raptors.
But now that I have told this, Ravi Narala may not call me next time he's in Chennai because he might not want to take the picture.
No, Ravi.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to go with Raptors.
Okay. Parthiv goes with Titans. I go with Titans too. Viju.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going with Raptors. I already in my analysis, I kind of said that I had great respect for the Raptors talent. Now I know that they're coming in with, not negative momentum, but I still think they'll figure it out.
Yep. I think this game we already spoke about it, right?
Third.
Pokeris Miles, yeah.
So this is GLCC Hawks.
I'll go with GLCC.
These two also, even GLCC. I go GLCC. Viju.
Yeah, I'm also going with GLCC. As much as I like Naresh and Vikram Reddy Golamari and everything which they have done, GLCC is a giant.
GLCC has the best bowling in the whole season. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go last on this one. Go ahead, Viju.
Indus Thunders versus FCC.
I'm picking Thunders. That's okay.
picking Thunder.
Yeah, I'm also picking Thunders. You don't pick against a champion that easily.
Well, a 2-point loss for all the four of us.
Why is that? You're saying FCC is going to win it?
I mean, it's such a playoff game. Anything can happen in it.
Yes, I agree with that. But I think if FCC is thinking that Thunders won't come with their best unit, I think Thunders will get their best unit or close to their best unit.
Legends.
Yeah.
Tough matchup.
Very tough matchup.
Well, let's. I think I'll stick with Sterling status.
Goes Legends. He goes Legends. I
Who
go Legends. Viju?
I'm going with Legends too.
Okay.
So either we are all going to catch up, and remember, Vamsi, two points for every playoff game.
Yep.
Double the points of the regular season.
Well, KRCC.
Okay.
What is Parthiv picking? I want to know that.
He is picking strikers.
He's out of the competition.
Wow.
I go
He's out of the
KRCC.
competition, baby.
Viju goes with KRCC.
Yes,
Okay.
KRCC.
I
Yes,
think
baby.
so. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Parthiv and and things like that, but reality is ground reality.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of mixed results. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, is that the last of the predictions?
Yes, that's the last.
Oh,
Well,
wonderful.
I think even though we went a little overboard on time, I think we gave all the teams their due credit that made it to the playoffs. We spoke about all their main players and also spoke about how their matchups can be. We went through the predictions, and we have to thank our listeners because it's been 16, 17 weeks of prime time, and we're still getting some great views on it. And last week, I think, was the best ever.
I think the the auction draft was very well received. So now the question, let me ask you, Vamsi, do we keep the same teams every year and make this a real competition, or do we change things up?
I'll tell you something better, right? Try to get at least 24 players from this list that makes it to the final 36. We can very well have a game.
I didn't follow you.
I said if players are willing to play with the top talent across, we can actually have a game at the end of the season, a real game.
You're saying after the DCL playoffs is over, take 24 out of these 36 players?
Yes. Sometime in between September and October, if players are available, we can have a game.
I'm not sure how much willingness there will be for that. That portion I do not know. But having said that, I'm just saying from a fantasy perspective, do we continue with the model? Do we change the model? I mean, I like the teams. I thought the teams and their advisors were pretty good.
Oh, we can have our respective teams the same, but the player picks would be different.
Because of course, the player picks will be different. Because the thing is, I already discussed a strategy with Chetan and Gaba and Mahesh. You see, so I don't want them going to the opposite team and revealing some of the internal strategies, right?
That's okay. Next year we'll see if we can flip one of them the way Gaba flipped players from Dynamites.
But Vamsi, this weekend there is going to be a grave, all right? And on that grave, I'll be doing balle, 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 balle. There'll be a lot of balle, balle. I'll be dancing up a storm. Guess who is in the grave?
I know the one who is not on the show.
Oh, you think so?
Well, because I spent the least amount of money, but I think I still got the best picks.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out who is going to be in that grave.
That's okay. But
this was fun.
Yep.
This was fun.
And thank you, everyone. We are going to call it a night and see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, sounds good. Take care. Bye.